Modern Dude Chat is brought to you by Beard Supply. BeardSupply.com. All natural beard care grooming products for your beard. Beard care for wildlife. Hey guys, welcome to the Modern Dude Chat podcast. We're your hosts, Cody and Chuck. Stick around. We're going back to the 90s and it's going to be good.
Oh, yeah. On this episode of Modern Dude Chat, we're going to get a little nostalgic on you. This is one we've been wanting to do since we first came up with this podcast idea. We're just going to reminisce and talk about stuff from the 90s, our childhood, growing up, stuff we liked and remember, and just kick back and have a good conversation. And, of course, couldn't do this by ourselves.
No.
So we brought on a special guest. Cole Reisner is back for round 2. So, kick it. This is a bit of a long one, but it's a good one, I promise. With me, Cody, and Cole. Additionally, we want to go ahead and shout you out. If you want to hang out with us, you want to kick it with us, we are going to be podcasting live from 903 Brewers in Sherman this Saturday, August 3rd. And we'll be there from, what's the time frame?
We're going to get there around noon.
Noon till
whenever.
3-ish,
Whenever
4-ish. We'll be hanging out. So
whenever we stumble out of there.
if you're in the area or you want to make a trip up to Sherman, let us know. Holler at us. Stop by the table. You'll find us. We'll be there.
First live show.
Yeah, first live show. We'll be interviewing
Jeremy Roberts.
903
Brewers.
So we'll do our first field trip and then of course that will release the following week. But we'll be there. We'll be able to kick it. We'll be featuring 903 beer. Check out the food.
We're passing out some goodies. We got some goodies.
We're a couple things. We'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you're in the area and you want to hang out with us, come up there. If you're just happen to stop by, holler at us. Let us know you're coming, and we'll look for you. And then also, additionally, just a heads up, in the next coming weeks, football season is coming. We typically record on a Sunday night, release on a Wednesday. That's going to be changing, and I think it's going to be after this 903 Brewers episode. We're going to start recording on Tuesdays and releasing Thursday or Friday. So we'll let you know when we nail down the details on that. But the schedule's going to be changing a little bit. Still going to be a weekly release, but days will change.
Yep.
So we'll just stay up to date with those updates and follow us on social media at Modern Dude Chat. But with that all being said, let's get into the 90s with Cole.
Let's do it.
What you gonna do, brother? Modern Dude Chat runs wild on you.
What up, Chuck?
What up, Cody? We are back from our break, and we're getting into an episode that we've been looking forward to. We've talked about since the beginning, since we started this. I think you're really excited.
I'm super excited
because you always wanted to do this.
I just think it's going to be fun to talk about.
It is going to be
relive
fun.
a lot of this.
A little nostalgic.
Yeah.
We're going to reminisce on good times. We're going 90s this episode.
90s.
Everything 90s for the most part is going to be discussed.
Growing up in the 90s is what we're calling it, right?
Yeah, growing up in the 90s.
Yeah.
And you can't just do a two-person team
No.
on the 90s.
No.
You got to bring in a ringer.
You and I can't handle this.
So we brought in an expert.
Yeah.
A professional.
An old friend.
An old friend.
Yeah. He's back.
Cole Reisner is back for round 2.
Give him a round of applause, everybody. Cole's back.
Thank you.
And he's a papa
you.
now.
I'm a papa now. I have a father. I have a father. I don't know why I said I have one. I am one. I'm
What's
a
up?
father.
What's up, Cole?
What's up, Cody?
You good,
Chuck,
man?
what's up? Chuck's over there.
Chucks.
What up? Sorry, I forgot to prep the drinks. I'm getting our drink ready.
Oh, boy. Here we go. Yeah, guys. So we got Cole with us. He's back. We figured none other than, for this 90s episode, why not bring somebody in?
Who likes to talk?
Yeah,
about
and somebody
a bunch
that likes to talk and somebody that is the same age as us will nail it on the head as far as like what we're talking about, all 90s.
I feel like I had a good experience in the 90s.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude.
Well, and another reason I think we brought Cole back is because the original plan was we were going to have a recap of a show that was no longer being mentioned on this podcast.
What show are you talking about?
And the Unspeakable show, because it was such trash. So when it went downhill, we scrapped those plans. We were like, we got to bring Cole back for something fun.
Yeah.
This was pretty good.
This is way better.
This is way
we
better.
decided we were
This is
finally
gonna
going
be
to do it. We were like, Cole, this is Cole's episode.
None
right
other
here.
than Cole. Yeah.
We're going to have some fun.
Yeah, you know, if you think about like I'm 33, we're all 33, that kind of age.
yeah,
like
yeah.
I was born in 85, so the 90s.
Old man.
I was
man.
86.
Me too.
You think about like the 90s for us would have been like 1990s when I would have started kindergarten.
Yeah.
We would have all started kindergarten around that time.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we would have. We're all in the same grade.
Yeah.
So like no matter what, we would have started.
Yeah, we all started.
And then we all started high school the same year, which was in 2000.
Right.
So
So actually, we started
2001?
No, 99.
99?
We started fall of 99.
that's right, because it's 99 to 2000.
Yeah.
No, because my sister graduated in
Yeah,
2000.
it was 2001.
What?
We were freshmen.
Yeah, 2000 we were
2000, 2001, right?
Yeah. So when we got in
sure.
high school, the seniors that were seniors when we were freshmen graduated
No,
in
that's
2001.
right. I
Yeah.
was a year off. You're right.
Yeah. So we started
I'm an
high
idiot.
We started high school in the 2000s,
Yeah.
but like our year of like growing up
Literally the
was
90s.
just the 90s.
like kid all the way up to
And then we
high
got
school.
the internet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, like middle
Game
school was when we got the internet. I mean, high school was
Yeah.
when we got the internet.
No, I think you're right. Like middle
it was
school.
About, yeah, it was about middle school.
Because there's an internet story I'm sure we'll get to that I have,
can't
and
wait.
it definitely happened in like 6th, 7th grade.
Yeah. Because I remember playing on the computer. We had a computer in our closet, and I would play that ski game on Windows.
Yes, with the
You know what I'm
Yeti
talking
would
about?
come and get you.
You just use the arrows, and you go from side to side on the slope.
And at some point, the
Yeah.
Yeti would come out
Yeah,
and
yeah,
get you, and there's nothing you could do about it.
Yeah, man.
Cole is lost.
Well, we didn't have internet. My parents just got internet like 10 years ago.
Well, let me tell you, it was
Right.
it was no Oregon Trail. Okay.
Dude, that was a blast.
So, well, before we go any further, before we really get into it, let's go ahead and get that good juice flowing.
Let's do it.
And I've already poured us our shots of Fireball. We're doing
Fireball.
shots, no sip. I mean, you can sip if you want. I don't
Yeah.
know anybody that sips Fireball.
No,
Do
thank
sip-
you.
do yeah, okay.
No.
I didn't think so. So
It's a big sip.
it's a shot. So I can't remember if I mentioned this on the podcast or not, but
Wolf.
I frequently drink Fireball, and I do have a drink that I call the I don't know what I call it. It's the podcast drink. But usually for every episode, I have a can of Red Bull, and I take a drink, fill it with Fireball, take some more drinks, fill it with Fireball. That's usually how I get prepped and going. So I'm familiar with this. This is one of my go-tos. We're not going to give you all the background or the breakdown of it.
Yeah.
It's Fireball.
You know what
You know
Fireball
what
is.
Fireball is. It's a bottle of deliciousness.
Fire
Out
water.
of Louisville, Kentucky.
Hey.
So, when did this like become a thing? By the way, before
Fireball?
yeah, like
I think it's kind of like Rumplemints, right? It's like isn't it the same reason why people think Rumplemints is a thing? You don't really like it. It's just easy to drink when you're at the
Well,
bar.
it's easy to drink.
I've never heard of it, and all of a sudden everybody had
Well,
Fireball.
and I think it's probably
And
the
it's
amount of
cheap.
sugar you got in there. Like that will cut through you. Every time I do a shot of Fireball, it doesn't matter if I had anything to drink at all. Like I always feel like I'm drunk.
well, I mean, like it came around just like I feel like a few years ago. Like I mean, but
I think it's
that
been
I
around,
knew
it's
about
been around,
it,
Yeah, it's been
where
around.
everyone started drinking. it.
Yeah. It's you're probably right about that. 2-3 years, past 2-3
But
years.
it's one of those like you just grab the bottle and go to town.
Yeah.
Like that's what I like about it.
It's an easy drinker for sure. It's only 66 proof.
Get a beer, get a 12-pack and a bottle of Fireball. You're not
33%
Good.
alcohol by volume.
There's
so-
only 33% alcohol in
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Man, it
So
tastes.
that's
Maybe
why.
it's the cinnamon too. The cinnamon just
I don't know.
it's delicious.
I drank a lot of this, and last week on the river, I drank a lot of this.
How about we do a half Fireball, half chartreuse in one shot?
I'm down.
Nah, let's
I'm
not
ready.
do that. I can't do
Let's
that,
get
guys.
rowdy.
Can't do it.
Let's
No,
get
I-
rowdy.
He was joking. He
That's
was
just
joking.
I want you so bad.
I saw the fear in Cody's eyes from over here. All right, let's do it.
Cheers, homies, to the
Thank
90s.
Cheers. Not bad.
No.
I could drink that
I
again.
mean-
Yeah, not too bad.
Especially chilled. I mean, it goes right down.
Woo!
We'll definitely finish that. I'm not
Shit.
scared of that. The chartreuse,
Danger.
never again.
Watch
We'll tell
out.
that story another day.
Danger.
Let's dive in, though. What else?
Okay, so
Do we have anything else we want to cover?
story
Chuck?
time. No, not at the moment.
Music? Any hot tracks this week? Cole, you
I
got
don't.
any?
I think we just go straight to the '90s, unless Cole
do it.
has something special he wants to
I
tell
mean,
us.
if we're gonna talk about hot tracks, we'll talk about some '90s hot tracks.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do
Right.
it. Let's start
So,
with that. Let's start with
Who
that.
wants to start off? Because you already know my opinions on 90s music.
I
I didn't listen to a lot of music when I was like, I don't remember, if it wasn't my mom's car,
Yeah.
I don't remember listening to a whole lot of music.
So I will say I grew up, and I bet Cole can relate, 90s country music. Like kindergarten up until like 4th, 5th grade.
then that's what my mom
We were
listened
listening
to,
to
so that's
90s
what
country.
I'm familiar
That's
with.
all we
Yeah,
listened
so like I listened to a lot of 90s country. We lived in Arlington when I was first born, and then when I was 8 we moved to Greenville. And
Okay.
that's when I even learned who a guy named Colin Ray was.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And then that's all we heard in Greenville was country music.
Yeah.
And it was like that's all we ever listened to was country music,
Heck
you know,
yeah.
from then on. Now like my dad always listened to like Nitty Gritty, Dirt Band, and those kind of guys.
Okay.
But like it wasn't like that polished
Yeah.
Brooks and Dunn, Tracy Lawrence,
Lawrence.
John Anderson, some swinging,
Shania
Seminole
Twain,
Wind.
man.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, Reba.
Oh yeah, no. My mom's
Reba.
favorite, and it's still her favorite, was Alan Jackson. That's like
Oh, yeah.
I grew
Classic.
up on Alan Jackson, and
Yes,
we
sir.
joke and call him Alvin Johnson at the house. Just to, it still gets under her skin. So, but yeah, no. All I listen to is
Brooks
the,
and
the
Dunn,
country
man.
from. That was my first concert. Was Brooks and Dunn.
Really?
Yep.
Nice.
It was Brooks and Dunn and Reba.
Nice.
It was my first concert I remember going to.
I was in. I think you and I maybe have talked about this on the last time we were here. But my first, what I call my first concert, was in the '90s, and it was with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, I was gonna say.
I mean, if we're talking about first concerts, like,
yeah, no, I was gonna say.
especially in the '90s, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at Six Flags,
Absolutely.
doing a
dude.
concert.
Holy
You don't
crap.
get more '90s than that, buddy.
coming out of their shell tour. Okay.
There we go. Now we're talking.
I had the
Skipping
video,
Stones.
I had the program, and that program lasted way longer than any program should in the hands of an 8-year-old.
he went home and vacuum sealed it.
Yeah, for real. yeah,
Do y'all remember that Batman show that they would do? at
yeah,
Six Flags?
the stunt Batman.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
crap.
dude.
loved it.
Game changer.
When I was in college, there was this guy in the theater department that I knew that was part of that show.
Really?
And he's one of the villains, and he had this mask that they had like professionally molded to his face to look like this evil guy, and he would wear it up around the theater, and it looked so scary. We're like, Dwayne, where'd you get that mask? When I worked at Six Flags.
Dude, I always looked forward to that, going to see that
Oh,
Batman
heck
show.
yeah, heck yeah.
And then of course, whatever concert they're doing, but Turtles coming out of their shell. Dude, if
Amen,
you-
brother.
Please do me a favor, if you're listening, go to YouTube and search for Turtles concert and watch this crap. And I thought, and I'm sure Cole feels the same way, it was the greatest thing we've ever seen.
As far as I know, it still is.
Coming
sure there
out
were
of
people-
a shell.
There were people sitting out in the stands with their camcorder, right? Just videotaping this shit. Right?
Oh yeah, the big one,
cam
like
sits on your shoulder.
Yeah, sits on your shoulder. The camcorder.
But yeah.
Oh, man. So,
country,
yeah, music.
country music for sure.
I mean,
But-
country.
it
I
was
mean,
the early stages. I think.
and
Yeah.
there's really only one person
you know,
for country music. I
Yeah.
mean, not in country music. One 90s
90s.
person. Period.
he was huge.
That's Garth Brooks. Is there anybody else? No, I'll answer it for you. No, there's not.
I mean, Garth was one of those guys that like transcended both genres, and he was like the spokesman for country music at that time. You know what I mean?
And people like to talk shit about Garth, but his record sales and his number ones and he broke some
Garth
records.
don't care.
Long-standing records.
Garth does not care. When he went on that tour and he said, every night I sell out, I'm going to add another night. And he kept doing it time and time and again. He sold out 7 nights in a row. And 2 of those nights, he played 2 shows each night.
Holy.
Yeah.
So he did 9 shows in 7 days
had
at
no
American
idea.
Airlines Center and sold them out.
Yep. Yeah. So
That is crazy.
That's crazy. He's a star. He was a freaking star in the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, Garth is Garth. But there's other great country artists. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
but I feel like later in life is when I learned more about, I don't know, like Blink 182 is 90s.
Dude, it's on my
yeah.
list.
Green Day.
Yes.
So,
So let's transition into that. So like,
Because that was when music got cool.
yeah.
Right.
So like,
And-
we're coming out of like elementary, getting into like 5th, 6th grade, intermediate.
yeah.
What'd you start listening to then?
I still didn't listen to very much
Really?
music. No. And it was probably what my my dad was married at the time, and I had stepbrothers, so it was probably what they were listening. They were
Yeah, yeah,
older,
yeah.
so it's probably which was a lot of Green Day, Nirvana,
Yeah, yeah.
which. That's not my wheelhouse, but I don't care what anyone says. I will
Dude.
listen to Nirvana all day, every day.
Matchbox 20.
Yeah, Matchbox.
Remember that?
Matchbox 20. Yeah,
I'm gonna throw you.
Matchbox-
I'm gonna throw you.
Matchbox 20.
I'm gonna throw you a curveball that no one probably knew that I was listening to this, and they probably would makes total sense now, but I wasn't telling people then. Pat Green.
Oh, dude.
nice.
That's all I
Nice.
listened
Really?
to.
See, that's
because that's
that's
when
awesome.
that's where it all started. Because my sisters listened to Pat Green, so
Nice.
everybody's stories are like you've got a brother and younger
Yeah, yeah,
sister, right?
yeah,
They
yeah.
would say, well, I'm sure there's something that they'd be like, hey, I listen to this because Cody.
Because
listened to this.
it would be Matchbox.
All my stuff
20.
was like hand-me-downs from what my sisters had. So it was like
Well, see, that's what-
Texas country guys.
That's what's
awesome.
interesting about us talking about this because I did not. I may have heard some songs, but didn't realize it was Pat Green. I didn't really figure out Pat Green until I was like in college.
Yeah,
it was
same here.
well into the 2000s.
Same here.
Oh, dude! Like I remember when I was 14 and I got Pat Green's live at live and well, the album's called "Here We Go Live," but it's live at Green Hall,
Nice.
and
Which we went by last week.
Yeah,
and
that's
so
where it just came from.
I was 14, but the record came out in '96,
Uh-huh.
and so I think or '96 or '97. That was the first album I put on, and I listened to front to back and didn't stop listening to it.
No
I didn't take
way.
a break or anything.
That's awesome.
And I mean, it's people can say what they will about Pat Green, but that album changed something in me.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
At the end of the day, now when I go back and listen to it, I mean, I
That's.
think
I almost
So
feel like
you're-
that
you're-
was really influential.
you
though,
talk
for,
about,
what
hand-
you got going on now.
hand me down songs and stuff. So like probably towards the back end, one of my step siblings was really diehard into Aerosmith, and like had every Aerosmith CD. And so like I didn't have that many CDs and stuff at my dad's house. So when I would go over there, all I had was Aerosmith, and I would just listen to Aerosmith. I love Aerosmith just because of this, because it was like they loved it, and it was like the only thing available. Which they're not bad, but I used to wear Aerosmith
So that's-
out.
That's a good point because you mentioned CDs. We literally witnessed the transition from like cassette to CD in the 90s, didn't we not?
Yes,
my mom literally sent. I'm gonna try to pull this
'Cause
up.
I remember having cassettes,
yeah.
and then CDs came out, and it was the Walkman. It was
I remember. I can't remember which one I got first, but I do actually. I think I do know which one I got first.
My mom literally sent us this picture today of this shoebox full of cassettes.
no way.
And said,
Nice.
"Who wants this?" And I was like, "I don't," because I didn't have any cassettes. I had
I had-
CDs.
But so what?
I had one
Do you
cassette, and I'll
remember
tell
what
you
your
what that
first
is.
like CD was? Like the first one you remember buying or getting?
Yes, it was Matchbox 20. It was Semisonic. I had that. That was my first CDs.
I don't know if I can tell you.
Blink-182.
I can't remember like what my first one was, but I can tell you one of my earliest was from like 5th and 6th grade was Creedence Clearwater Revival Chronicles 1, which
Nice.
is like it was their first like anthology, but it was from
Yeah.
like the 70s. So it was like a
Nice.
greatest hits from the 70s.
Nice.
And I mean, I listened to
That's a heck of a CD to have for your first one.
Well, look, y'all are kind of halfway normal.
Dude, I remember Mercy Me was one of my very first CDs.
Well,
because
hell
they
yeah.
were a local.
because we all
Man.
got saved at Union.
Dude, Union was totally 90s.
Okay.
Mercy Me was totally
Now here we
90s.
so this.
That was one of my
This
first
is where
CDs.
me and
for
Cole,
sure.
I feel like, are like two peas in a pod. My first CD, like first just CD in general. I have a actual artist CD, and it was a soundtrack. And
Okay.
it was the soundtrack to the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. Was my first
Nice.
Ever.
You could not go wrong with that.
CD. And my first actual. So this is why I say y'all are normal. I mean, this is great music, but from what y'all came through with on y'all's like first CDs of real artists, mine was TLC Crazy Sexy Cool album.
What did I tell you earlier about TLC? What did I literally say about TLC earlier? We were talking about 90s. He said something about all that. And I was
All
like,
That,
dude,
yeah.
I remember all that. I said, I remember that like one of the first episodes of all that. And I'll be so bold to say it may have been their pilot episode. Their musical guest was this up and coming trio called TLC. And they did Waterfalls.
I remember
Chasing
getting that
Waterfalls.
CD and getting on the school bus, and like I had it on the bus, and it was like, you know, I was young, I was way too young to have the TLC CD, that's for sure. But it was like I busted out, and I was like, whoa, whoa, hold on. This little kid's got TLC in his backpack. I'm like, yeah, I'm about that life.
Young man, is that a TLC record?
Chasing waterfalls.
And I crave.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going next. So yeah, that was my first CD. I definitely remember that, and it was like a red, like it had a very distinct cover. Like,
Oh, yeah.
and that's why I remember it because it had a very
Hilarious.
distinct cover on it. But anyway,
But see, like one of my favorite soundtracks of all time is from a '90s movie, and I think
The Bodyguard.
Tommy Boy. It's the very first
Tommy
movie that's
Boy,
on here.
yeah.
The soundtrack for Tommy Boy
Oh, yeah, dude.
is amazing. You should
I've never even considered
Yeah.
the soundtrack
because
He's
it's
right.
like it's like Americana, kind of like rock and roll stuff, and it's just so cool. There's so many bands that like I went on and later found off of that. Like Paul Westerberg is this guy that
Okay.
had this kind of like he's kind of like a Bruce Springsteen kind of guy,
Yeah.
but
Singer songwriter.
yeah, you know, he'll have like horns and stuff in his band, but it's like kind of like rock and roll, like Rolling Stones rock and roll.
Nice.
And yeah, I mean like
I legit thought you were going to say Space Jam CD.
no,
Space Jam was fire.
I feel like that was the 90s right there, the Space Jam CD.
Dude, you want to know the cassette that I had was the Godzilla soundtrack, basically, with Puff Daddy on it.
I feel like you,
You
could have
remember
left that comment at home.
No,
That's
I had
bad.
to mention that because that's,
That's
the only
bad.
it's the only cassette that I remember having was
Oh,
the
man.
Godzilla
So-
Puff Daddy.
shit.
Just on music real quick, I have this story I wanted to bring up.
Okay.
And so everyone, now it's kind of like a one-hit wonder, but at the time it was the song was Gangster's Paradise, Coolio.
Oh yeah,
And I was telling Cody I have a story about Coolio, so I had to bring up Coolio. So back in the day, MTV actually played music videos. And
oh yeah.
and so they would do like a countdown of like the top 100 at the New Year's countdown. They'd count down their music videos from the year, and come around midnight they played the number one music video of the year, right? So I don't remember, what was that, like 94, 5?
No, it's probably later than that.
Not very much.
Yeah, not very much.
But so anyway, right,
Mid-90s.
mid-90s
Yeah.
time frame.
Because it came out with the movie. There was
Yeah.
the movie with
Well, it was the teacher in the classroom, Michelle Pfeiffer.
Michelle Pfeiffer. That's who it was.
I can't remember the name of the movie, but anyway.
Nice.
So, and my
90s.
mom was like hard against, don't watch that trash, blah, blah, blah. And she knew about the Coolio music video. She just knew Coolio rapped and it was bad, right? So I'm supposed to go to my dad's for New Year's, and they're counting down. And she straight up told my dad, if and when that video comes on TV, like I just think she may not remember this. I do. I was told I had to leave the room if that music video ever came on. And sure enough, it was the number one music video of the year, and I had to leave the room for Coolio. Coolio and my mother scarred me.
Oh man.
Maybe that's why I like rap music, because it was banned.
Oh yeah, because it was untouchable. You couldn't.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to watch Coolio. If only my mom would have let me watch Gangster's Paradise, my life would have turned out different.
Dude, yeah. So let's go into the later '90s, real quick.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. What'd you have in mind?
So NSYNC, Backstreet Boys,
dude.
Spice Girls, all that stuff.
I don't care what anybody says.
Hanson. That's like middle school.
NSYNC
Yeah.
is my
Mariah
jam.
Carey.
NSYNC's my jam. And
NSYNC was it,
if
yeah.
someone tries to come at me with some BSB,
What was
some
your boy
Backstreet
band?
Boys, I'm gonna slap somebody.
What was your boy band, Cole? I mean, which one did you, or did you not? Were you not into the boy bands?
Well, see, my sisters,
Hang.
my sisters were into NKOTB.
Ah, yeah, New Kids
So
on the
like
Block.
that's the only really boy band that I listened to.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
by the time that I was in middle school and all the other girls, I'm not a girl. all the girls
We're
were
accepting on this podcast, Cole. So
modern. Never mind. I was gonna say you can edit that out. Fireball me, my dog. Uh-oh.
We're going, we're going in.
Let me go ahead and order my Uber. Like by then they were in high school. They didn't listen to they didn't listen to boy bands. But I did listen to Blink-182.
Oh, dude,
and
yeah.
that was a
Who
boy
did that?
band, I guess.
Hey,
What was that song
I went to the
called?
NSYNC concert, the No Strings Attached tour.
Do you remember that real? Do you remember the Blink-182 song? It was real. I want to say it was real quick, but it was all the bad words, just
Oh yeah,
shit,
yeah.
piss.
I remember every time I went
It
to
was,
your
I could still sing it.
every time I went to your house, that's all we listened to. We'd play.
I'm not gonna sing it, but
we'd
it was
play NFL
it was bad.
Blitz and listen
Yes.
to Blink 182. That's what we did
And I
every
felt-
summer at Cody's.
Yeah, I
was
felt like
Blitz
such
and
a
Blink
rebel.
182.
Oh yeah, I listened to "Take Off Your Pants and Jacket," that
Yes,
record,
yes.
back and forth,
Oh yeah,
back and forth.
it was on that album.
But I learned about them through Enema of the State.
Yep.
And before that was Dude Ranch, I think.
Okay.
And then Cheshire Cat was before that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So they had that song called "Damn It." That was their first
Yes.
single.
Skater punk rock.
Dude, that was
great.
that was my jam.
Yeah,
That's
I had
when,
poster.
like-
I had the poster up in my room right next to Incubus. It was Incubus and Blink-182.
But still, see, that was turning in 2000s.
Oh,
Yeah.
Cody, I didn't know you were in on this. My
I'm down.
fault.
I already poured mine, bro.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Is that from the same bottle? That was good. That would burn a little more than the last one.
Yeah, buddy. I think
That sure tasted like
we
70%
should let it
alcohol.
burn.
Mine sat in my mouth for a few minutes because I was trying not to laugh. That was brutal.
Sorry
All
about
right.
that.
But yeah, music. I mean, dude, me personally, 90s music in general changed my life. Like, especially in the 90s.
To-
Listen to all that random,
I probably honestly didn't start listening to my own music till I was in high school. Like,
Yeah,
music
so,
was
like-
so far off my radar. Like,
I feel like what I got then was what I got. It was
Okay.
like I don't know. Remember how I got that Creedence record? I
Yeah.
feel like I got it because my sisters had it and they didn't
Yeah.
like it, so I kept listening to it.
somehow
You know what I mean? And that's kind of how it started happening for me. But I feel like what were you saying, Cody?
Well, sorry. Somehow I got a hold of CDs, and I don't know. It was 6th and 7th grade. I don't even remember how I got them. Now.
yeah.
But I think I asked for them for Christmas or something like that. and I
see,
would get 'em.
now,
I got a stereo.
I take that back.
Stereo.
Middle school is about where I started because it's a known thing. I'm a huge Eminem fan, but I distinctly remember having the Eminem CDs.
Okay.
Now, I don't ask me how I got my hands on them because I don't know, but I do remember because I think 8th grade was when the Real Slim Shady that album came out.
Dr.
and,
Dre, all that.
Yeah, and I think his first one came out in '99, so it was
And
right
that's
at
when
the tail end. But I
Parental
remember,
advisory
yes,
badge came out,
and that's what I was
parents could
saying.
Easily identify.
I don't know how I got my hands on the actual CDs because
Yeah.
I had the actual albums. That and
Yeah.
Limp Bizkit. That's what
yeah, dude.
Eminem and Limp Bizkit.
Biscuit. Holy crap.
Wouldn't it be nice? That was the only song of theirs I liked. It was a George Michael song.
Yeah. Holy crap.
But like I feel like what I remember the most about the 90s, and this is probably more important to me than like realizing like I remember I was listening to this when I was a sophomore in high school, is like I remember a lot of the like cultural stuff, like cultural stuff. Like I remember when the OJ thing was on TV.
Oh, yeah.
I can remember where I was when that happened. Like
Yeah.
I was at my dad's house. It came on, and that was
And it was on for months.
like
Oh,
what
yeah.
was that like 94?
Yeah.
95,
Yeah.
94.
It was the year of the World Cup.
So we're-
'cause he was cruising down the highway
So we were 8.
during the World Cup, Women's
right.
World
Yeah.
Cup.
Yeah.
We were 8 or 9, and
Yeah.
I remember watching. We all sat and watched and I didn't know who OJ was. I was still. I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
I was watching sports, but I mean, he was an older player at that point.
Right.
But I remember that white Bronco video of the open freeway in
Yeah.
LA where they shut everything down, and he's going like 30 miles an hour, and all the cops are going behind him because he wasn't going fast. It wasn't like a super high speed chase.
But you're right though. Like I had no idea who OJ was. And so for me it was very objective. That was like this man's running from the cops and he's been accused of murdering his wife. Oh, so he's probably in trouble? No, but it's OJ Simpson.
Yeah. And so, as I'm watching it, I'm getting explained why this is a big deal, kind of thing, which is crazy. And now, because it was just an anniversary and he got released from prison and all that stuff. But
Yeah, that's true.
so it's
He
been
just got a Twitter.
Yeah, and it's great. Like
he
it is
was
bad to say, but
tweeting
it's-
some dumb
it's
shit. but
Great.
it was nuts.
It's great. But
Yeah.
but anyway, yeah, that is like one of those moments in time. Like I still remember exactly where I was, what I was doing. I was playing with Hot Wheels, dude. that orange flexible Hot Wheel track.
Oh,
where
hell
you
yeah.
tie it from the top of your bunk bed
Yes.
and make it go off. That's what we were doing. I distinctly remember playing with that.
Oh.
When that came on. All right, guys, I want to take a minute to thank everyone for listening to Modern Dude Chat. And if you like listening to us or podcasts in general, check out Podcoin. Podcoin is the app that pays you to listen to your favorite podcast. Sounds nuts. You're like, what? This is not real. It is, just like if you were going to go to your favorite fast food place or shopping place, you get points for money you spend. With Podcoin, you get points or Podcoins for time listening to podcasts. So here's how it works. You listen to your podcast, you earn Podcoins. Then you can turn the Podcoins into gift cards to Amazon, Starbucks, or you can even donate to charity. The more you listen, the more you earn. Here's what you do. Download the Podcoin app on your iPhone or Android, and if you use the code DUDECHAT, you'll get an additional 300 Podcoins just for signing up. And if you listen to enough of us or any of your favorite podcasts, your next coffee could be on Podcoin. So again, download Podcoin, use the code DUDECHAT. Okay, now we're back. Okay. We had to get some stuff straight.
Fireball.
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 Oh man. So yeah, like Cole, like when we started, you mentioned like the 90s for us, that was us as 4 and 5 year olds
Yeah.
up until we were what?
It was.
13, 14?
I feel like when I was in high school is when. That's when I was like. That's when we were like trying to figure out who we were.
Oh yeah.
But it was like leading up to that, even in middle school, at least for me, like I felt like I was just trying to figure everything out, right? And so I'm more observant to everything that was like going on then. And like 90s for me was like, I feel like I have a lot of very strong memories of the 90s.
yeah.
And me and Cody have talked about
Such
this.
a
Like
great
stuff
time.
from the 90s is coming back now.
It is.
Like
So relevant right now.
Some of the
Style, especially.
yeah, styles, just collections, like stuff that
Yeah.
happened in the 90s is like a big
It's
deal
happening
now.
right now. Dude,
Like-
my son is wearing Fila slides.
Well, and I wish
And he's rocking Nike, like old school
if I would have
Nikes.
kept my toys from when I was in elementary
insane.
school, I'd be a
Dino
millionaire
stompers.
right now. Like I would be rich
Yeah.
if I would have
Yeah,
kept
for
my
sure.
toys.
For
from
sure.
back
You know,
then.
fashion is cyclical. You know,
It
like
is,
people
yeah.
like were wearing flannel and stuff like that. Now it's kind of like mid 90s. Have
It
you
is,
noticed
yeah,
that?
yeah,
It's like everything's like those girls are wearing those big old clunky white
Yeah.
shoes,
Fanny
like from
pack.
Clueless.
Fanny packs are
and
like
stuff.
an awesome item right now. People
Okay,
are wearing the shit.
y'all
out of
had this
fanny packs.
great list of things that like remind you of the 90s, and I've always asked this. Whoa, sorry about that banging on the
No,
table.
you're good. We do it all the time.
Sorry, we're filming in a well. I said we're filming.
Yeah.
I keep thinking
Documentary's coming
I keep
later.
thinking you are videoing this. I need to put my clothes back on. Just kidding. I said that the last time, so like a reoccurring joke.
Every time. Every time.
Every time we make that joke. Jinkos will come back.
Oh, dude.
Jinkos are never coming back.
Jinkos come back.
But have you
I don't
noticed?
know. Cole might be onto something.
But have you
dude,
noticed how like
honestly.
basketball shorts now people are regressing to like the 80s like shorts,
Yeah. Yes.
right? And then Jordan changed. it
I'm
and
not
made
a
him, like,
fan
one
of it, by the way.
Dude, but he is so right. It is in.
Everything like everybody was wearing flannel like it was the early 90s. Now everybody's wearing everything like it's the mid 90s, like it's Clueless and stuff.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like you go back and you watch everything that was filmed in 88 and 89 and you start buying all those clothes and wearing them right now, people are going to think you're a forefront on like the fashion industry.
Most definitely.
do you think? Do you hear?
Go watch American Pie.
Do you think it's because like people our age, maybe a little older, grew up in that time, and now they're in the position where they're designing like the fashion line?
100%.
Could be. Yeah, for sure.
100%
And
because
they pull back on that
because nostalgia still like evokes that like emotion that like
Yes.
draws you to it.
Yes.
And so if people are like, there's something about Jinkos. I just love the way they look. I really want to put that on a fall line in France. And then some people start walking down some big fashion show wearing Jinkos. They're like, that's
You
the
know
new
how
hot
much
thing.
stuff I could put in those pockets these days with everything being so small? I could load forget cargo shorts. Give me those Jinko
Guys,
pockets.
we
back.
need to download the Robinhood app right now and start investing money in
No
Jinkos.
shit. Cole, I have already downloaded the app. I just haven't dug into it. Dead serious. Dead serious.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Dude, so on that, so do you guys know who Billie Eilish is?
Yeah, she's
Okay.
like
Who?
17.
Hold on,
and
who?
Chuck, how do you know?
What'd you,
We've talked about
What did you say?
Billie Eilish. Do you know who Billie Eilish is? Music artist?
Is it Eilish?
Eilish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's weird.
You
Listen,
know,
if you, it's okay.
That's what threw me off because I legit.
okay.
No, seriously, this is a dumbass moment.
You've heard her songs.
Just
I know. I thought
Okay.
it was written and said. I thought this whole time, like, I'm gonna age myself and show how out of the loop I am. I legit thought it was English this whole time.
Okay.
So when you said Eilish, I was like, what?
Okay.
Hey, buddy.
I read and hear like I've never heard anyone say their name,
Yeah.
and I've obviously never paid attention how it's spelled. So I thought Billie English is. I thought that the whole time.
Chuck, I'm gonna give you two. I'm gonna tell you some good news and some bad news. The good news is, no one at all ever thought. Now, like you were safe, until right now, and then you just recorded it. This is the bad news. Now you're gonna. The good news is, I'm glad you're editing this. The bad news is, you're gonna have to edit out that you thought it was Billie English this whole time.
I knew it was a girl.
Billie English sounds like a boxer.
That's dude.
But have you noticed Billie Eilish's style? And not only
Oh
that,
yeah, it's super. It's TLC.
it's TLC.
I'm gonna take
It's
this time to
TLC.
step
or
out
what
of this
was
conversation.
what was her name? The rapper, girl rapper. Oh my gosh. come
Aaliyah.
on. No, black. Misty Elliott.
Missy Elliott.
Missy Elliott.
She wears like.
Misty-
Okay, so this girl
She's
is.
badass. So I don't know where you're going.
Billie
with
Eilish
that.
dresses like Missy
This girl's
Elliott.
No
like
way. Yes, she
17.
does.
She's like 17, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And she dresses like she's in TLC,
Yeah.
like she's Missy Elliott.
Yeah.
That like super baggy, like
Not only that, she just did a
Does she have pleather overalls?
she just
That's
did
what
a
I'm looking for.
CK.
probably.
She did a CK Calvin Klein fragrance commercial collaboration.
That's
It
that's
took me straight back to the 90s.
Okay.
Because who didn't wear CK?
So have you noticed at all like there's a trend that like there's a style right now where people are wearing like old school kind of like polos,
Yeah.
khaki shorts tucked in, kind of clunky white shoes. And there's a term for that called normal core.
Never heard of
Did
it.
not know that.
It's like
Normal
hip.
core?
It's like hip to dress like my dad dressed when I was in high school.
Okay, yeah.
And like, guys, these denim shorts
hilarious,
have elastic in them. We do not need to be wearing these people.
That's
I'm here for
hilarious.
elastic. I don't know what y'all talking
That's
about.
hilarious.
Oh, I just got me a pair of bird dogs. No shame in that, dude. Hey, those Instagram ads, they finally worked on me. They're amazing.
That's so funny. But yeah, dude, like the 90s style is back.
I just want
Legit.
to. I just want to confirm that is in fact an I and not an E.
Yes.
An N. I mean, it's not
What?
Billy English.
It's
Billie Eilish.
yeah.
But she's a prime example. Like she's trending right now, and then even the fashion aspect of her brand.
And
is
she's so young.
90s. Yeah.
It makes sense that she's doing something that's
Yeah.
because she's so ahead of her time
Yeah,
as an artist.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Why wouldn't she be super ahead of her time in her fashion? I mean, her highlights, the way she does her hair, like it's like hip hop in the 90s.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. But anyways, back to what? Let's transition from like elementary into like intermediate.
Yeah,
School,
no, that was a big change.
That time frame, because that was huge.
That's when we made the profound discovery, I think, of females.
Females, yes,
So-
Yes.
kissing girls. And
Yeah, kissing girls,
Going
going
out.
on. I'm air quoting dates, which dates means
Going out.
About 20 of us went to the skating rink,
Yeah.
or to the movies to not watch a movie.
Yeah,
wink,
man.
wink. You know what I mean?
And
I
Chuck-
mean, I know why Titanic was the biggest selling movie of all time because
Because it had boobs in it.
yeah, well, no, and
I was 12 years old, and they would let me go to the movie and be like, I could see this movie, and y'all don't care.
And-
my parents are here.
I get to see my first pair of boobs. That's
Yeah,
that's what I
and
want.
Young man, one ticket? Yep.
I think I paid to see Titanic about 15 times, like no
Yeah.
legit. 'Cause every weekend, every chick wanted to go. If we went to the movies, every
man.
chick wanted to go watch Titanic again.
Yes. Okay.
I can
okay.
still smell the Bath and Body Works body spray.
Okay. So I remember seeing Titanic.
It's been 84
And then I
years.
remember a girl that shall remain nameless asked me to go to the movies with her in 6th grade. And I said, what do you want to go see? She said, Titanic. I said, well, I've already seen it. I don't mind seeing it again, right? I don't mind seeing it a second time. Now I'm going with a girl. This is way better. And I remember in the movie saying, yeah, it's funny because I've already seen it. She said, oh, I've seen it too. And I said, how many times have you seen it? She said, 7.
what was great about Titanic is it was like a 3.5.
And for the record, I remember what that girl's name is, and I'll tell you what it is when we record.
So the movie was 3.5 hours. Back then there was an intermission, so you got a break. But
Yeah, there was an intermission in that movie.
it took you.
Totally forgot about
I
that.
don't know. Okay, this might sound bad.
More
good,
movies need an intermission.
but I know Cody feels the same way, and I'm gonna say it. I don't give a shit.
Bring it. I know.
It was a 3.5 hour movie. I say we paid to watch it 15 times because it took that long to watch the whole movie. Because the whole time we're trying to make out or hold hands or cuddle somebody,
Oh, yeah.
or wait for the boob scene. That's the only time. But that was the time when the girls wanted to make out with you because they didn't want you looking at the booby scene.
Right.
They wanted them looking at you.
You know what I just realized though, and I wish I'd known this when I was 12. It would have been a smart thing to think of. Hey, I'm going to go on a date with a girl to go see a movie, and I don't care what movie I'm seeing as long as it's the longest movie that's at the theater.
Exactly.
If I was a 13-year-old boy, right, I'd be like, I'm going to go see Endgame. It's like 4 hours long.
Dude, but I'm so nerdy. Like now, I'd be like, "What? Put your tongue back in your mouth. I'm trying to watch Iron Man here."
That's so true. I've
But
never thought of it that way.
Dude, but I mean, for real, because honestly, we did. That's what we went to the movies for. It wasn't to watch a movie.
No,
Hey,
yeah.
At that age, we weren't trying to exploit anybody. We were just excited to get out of the house. I was excited to be able to go buy my own
No,
popcorn.
a girl wanted to go hang out with me. Cool. What are we going to see? Titanic. Perfect. Okay. Don't
3
care.
hours. I don't
Yeah.
have to be home.
Yeah, 3 hours, and all my friends are going to be there.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about movies, then I feel like it's okay to talk about our movie experience in Greenville, Texas. You know, first we had the movie.
Rolling Hills.
Well, we had
man.
See, I remember me and my dad went and saw White Fang there.
My dad took me to watch the original TMNT.
See, we had some great
Nice.
And I remember
TMNT.
I remember me and Corey Gann when we told his mom we were going to watch another movie, and we went to go sneak in, air quotes, sneak in to see Anaconda. We watched Anaconda, and then when she asked us how the movie, it was 10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh,
that was the
great
movie
movie.
she thought we went to go see, was 10 Things I Hate About You. And we went to go see Anaconda. And then when we got in the car, I remember telling her, we told her the previews. Everything that happened in previews, that's what we told her we've seen. So she thought we watched the movie, not the snake movie.
It's clever.
And of course, you went with Corey Gann. I hope he's listening to this.
10
He
Things
should
I
be.
Hate About You.
Yeah.
is a
I work with
great movie.
I work with his mom. His mom literally sits next to me at work. So
You talk about a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan.
Oh yeah.
yeah, he has all 4 turtles: Bebop, Rocksteady, Shredder, and April on
Yeah.
his body,
On his body.
on his
tatted.
leg.
Tatted up.
To be more specific,
Love it.
But you know, they closed that. I feel like they closed that Rolling Hills down pretty early, like mid
it was
'90s.
not a good place to be.
And then we went.
No, it was open until. I mean, we were in high school. It was still open.
Yeah.
Like, not kidding.
It took a while for
do you
just-
remember,
for it
do you
to
remember the movie,
transition to
the
Majestic.
Hardball?
Yeah.
With Keanu Reeves, the baseball movie.
No
Yeah.
way.
I remember seeing that at that theater, and that was like 2002. We were still in
Wow.
high school, but that was probably the last movie I remember seeing there.
But
was that
once
one.
they built that fancy Majestic 8 at the
8,
time,
yes.
Yeah, at the time,
at the time it was Majestic 8. Man, Majestic 8 was like slamming.
Oh,
it had
dude.
seats that had headrests. They kind of
Yeah.
reclined a little bit.
It was brand new. You said that brand new
and,
smell.
and to throw back to an old podcast episode, because this is my 90s, because that's the last time I ate this. But
Oh, God.
anyone who
Please
gets the
say it.
butter on the popcorn is a crazy person.
Cole, this is why you're my dude. Thank you, thank you.
Oh,
That
man.
butter
Hey,
is
I know.
so it's too much.
terrible.
It's so
No,
bad.
Cody loves it. He would bathe in it.
But I did tell you, I
man.
love to put the butter on the popcorn, but when I walk out of there,
It
I
makes
feel
you
awful.
feel-
It cuts
I
right
feel
through you. It
Because-
cuts through you like a hot knife through
It's
movie theater popcorn butter.
It's flavored motor oil.
Oh.
Like it's corn syrup
It's
and
bad. I'm on board.
vegetable
I'm on
oil.
board.
But here's also my argument with the popcorn. You can have so crappy popcorn, and by God, you're gonna eat every last damn piece of that popcorn when you're watching that movie, right?
Totally. Yeah.
If I
for
have
sure.
a bucket of popcorn, I don't even care if it's stale. I'll eat the whole bucket.
Absolutely.
so
Walk into Home Depot, get that waft of popcorn that's been there all day. Give me a bag, sir.
You know
I'll
what?
take it.
I'm hungry now. I'll give you, here's 75
so on
cents.
food, let's talk about '90s food or snacks, dude. Start popping them off. Like
How about some
Surge.
bagel bites, guys?
Yes, I was gonna say it starts with bagel
Still
bites,
slamming.
ends with the Kraft mac and cheese when it came out, the instant.
Oh yeah, where you mix it, you microwave it,
Yes,
you mix it.
it's
Oh,
what they do
man.
now, but back then that's when it came out.
Ragu made a pasta like that too for a little while. That was
not
very
know
good.
that.
Well, they took it off the
Whoa.
shelves. I was the only kid that was buying it apparently.
I remember Sunday afternoons after church, lunch was pizza rolls or bagel bites.
Oh,
Dude.
pizza
and
rolls.
Nickelodeon TV. That's what I did.
That's when Hot Pockets made their appearance too, right?
Hot Pockets.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
I always loved Hot Pockets, but Hot Pockets
I
were
like-
like Russian roulette, man. Sometimes you bite in that thing and you scald your mouth.
That's true.
Blisters on the inside of your
I
mouth.
like Hot Pockets more as an adult than I did as a kid. Like or as a teenager. Like I was bagel bites, pizza rolls. I wasn't really a Hot Pocket.
I just
person.
don't understand why Bagel Bites haven't just caved and made like a 12 pack of Bagel Bites, but they're like normal size bagels.
I would be all over it.
Oh hell yeah!
I bought some. They still sell bagel bites. Didn't know if you knew that or not.
Oh, I buy them at Costco,
I was
my
about
friend.
to say, okay, so we hadn't bought some in a while, and I saw them, and I bought them for my, I bought an 18 pack, thinking my 3.5-year-old might like them. She never got to try one because I ate them all.
Dude, Bagel Bites. I've never gotten full on Bagel Bites.
I have seen Cole actually post stories in his Instagram where he's cutting
Pizza.
cutting a little tiny bagel bite, which looks like a normal sized pizza at the very front end, and then he puts his fingers on it, and you realize it's just a little bagel bite that he's cutting into little like.
I love pizza.
That's great.
I love pizza in any form. And when pizza's on a bagel, you can have pizza anytime.
Yes.
Okay. Pizza in the
When
morning,
pizza's
pizza
on
in
the
the evening.
bagel, you
Dude.
can have pizza anytime.
Yeah, pizza at supper time.
So I feel like the cereal game in the '90s really like upped it a notch too. You know?
Did y'all ever get like the sampler pack in the mail?
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Dude.
Oh, yes.
that was slamming. That day that those would come in, you'd randomly get a 3-pack of cereal.
The little boxes, right?
Little boxes.
Yeah.
They would
Remember
be
the
like
little
a
boxes?
single serving.
Yeah, the little cereal
I
boxes.
think my mother shafted me.
She
Oh,
did.
dude. Well, listen, I had brothers and sisters. Right?
Pops.
Were you a single child?
I was.
Oh, yeah.
I
Okay,
was.
so your mom was probably checking that. She was the only one checking that mail. My situation was probably where it was like, go get the mail, right?
Yeah.
Well, if you had that cereal box in there, you had first dibs.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it'd be a 3-pack of like regular cereal.
Yeah.
Like Lucky Charms,
Yeah.
Cocoa
Pops.
Pebbles, yeah, Fruity Pebbles. And so I think it was just their way of saying like, hey, try this cereal. Maybe you'll like the cereal. Here's a free bowl on us. That would come in the mail.
Totally. Yeah. Brilliant.
My mom was probably
Brilliant.
like, "No, he ain't trying this stuff."
No,
We ain't
she
getting
was
this
like,
cereal
oh,
in
he
our
ain't
house."
seeing this
No
stuff.
way.
She's like, I'm eating this. Because I know if that starts happening again, my kid ain't seeing it.
What about
mentioning promo stuff? Like I'm getting off.
Oh, yeah.
Subject, but I remember so TV wise, Nickelodeon was it was pretty much everyone had Nickelodeon,
Oh, yeah.
but
yes.
but like so Disney Channel was like a exclusive thing.
See,
Like,
I didn't-
Not
I-
everyone had Disney Channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have Disney.
But 1 week a year, Disney Channel would come on for free.
yeah, because
Oh,
if you
no
had
way.
cable,
Yes.
because it was before satellite. But if you did have satellite,
I
it
don't
was
remember that.
the satellite that they had. Hold on. Check. Hold on. Hey,
There we go.
that's from my mouth.
But yeah, you would get a free week if you had
Yeah.
cable. You'd get a free week of Disney Channel.
Holy cow.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that was back when if you didn't get the channel, you could still kind of make it out. It might be a little fuzzy, or you could kind of make out the
Oh,
screen.
man.
You may catch some titties from time to time.
You talk about the snowy channels. I can tell
No,
you
but
about
Disney Channel was that way too. Like you get the audio.
Oh my!
But I remember always
Oh,
waiting
man.
for that week of Disney
We
Channel.
could. Speaking of, we literally grew up in the '90s. You talk about the channels that you couldn't see, the snowy channels.
They had blacked out channels.
That's when we became men.
That was
right.
So
when you stumble upon it and you're like, "What the heck is this channel?" Oh my gosh!
I feel like this is the perfect time to drop in my story. This is an internet story, but it
Oh, here
ties
we
in
go.
perfectly.
Yes.
So same friend. We grew up with this guy, and me and him had been. I mean, I have pictures of me and him wrestling in our Ninja Turtle pajamas when we were like 3. So me and this guy, we've been friends forever. We're still friends to this day.
Yeah.
And I remember 6th, 7th grade. So they had internet. This is like when it was like you.
We all had that one friend that had
Yeah.
internet,
Great story.
and parents did
Great
not
story.
No,
watch what they were doing.
it was in his dad's office. Like his dad had an office at the house, and that's where the internet was. And so we go over there, and I remember one time, me and him got on the computer, got on the internet, and straight up started looking for naked girls, looking for porn. That's what we were doing. We were discovering things.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I remember we looked up there was a website back then. I don't know if it's still around or not. It's whitehouse.com was a porn site. But there's a whitehouse.gov, right? So there's a whitehouse.com was a porn site. Whitehouse.gov was like the actual White House website.
Gotcha.
So we looked for whitehouse.com intentionally, right? So that was like a Friday night. Monday or Tuesday, maybe my mom gets a call from his parents.
And the goal there is whitehouse.com was supposed to like disguise, right?
I guess.
I think it was supposed to disguise your search history. Like, oh, they're just looking at whitehouse.com.
So here's what it came down to.
Politics.
His dad had gotten on the internet. There's
Yeah.
this thing called history.
Yep.
When you first discover the internet, you don't know there's such a thing. You just know you have access to anything you want. You don't know there's a record.
You don't realize you can delete anything you've ever done on the internet.
We didn't know that. So we left all our internet history search on his dad's computer. And so he gets grounded for like 2 months. And they call my mom just blah, 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 you know what they did, blah, 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 blah. And our first defense was that was Bill Clinton's White House period, right? The late 90s. We just want to know what's going on in the White House.
Oh my God.
That was our defense. But then this is the greatest thing. This dude never lets me forget this. He got in deep trouble. Like he got grounded.
Do I know this guy?
Yeah.
It's I'll say it. Yeah, David Gibson.
Okay.
So he got grounded forever. It wasn't at one point we were growing up. I got banned from his house, and I legit did not go back until I was in college. It wasn't this time. Later, I think it's because we set a pasture on fire one time, but that's a different story. But anyway, his parents called mine, telling him what they did, blah blah blah, blah. And my mom. I say a lot of. I talk about mom being strict and harsh, but she's also cool as shit. She knows what the deal is.
Yeah.
She straight up. This was the response.
yeah, I
and he
remember
never lets me forget this. She told his parents, "What do you want me to do? Boys will be boys." I got in no trouble at all.
Winning.
And so
Clean
I
slate.
never got in trouble for that, for doing that. It was
Boys
just kind of
will
one
be
of those things
boys.
like, hey, it happens. And my friend got grounded for like 2 months.
Shut
and
up.
and now every time we just boys will be boys. That's like a go-to saying between me and him.
Oh my.
But that's the stuff you get into like back then.
I have a story. So you remember that house that I lived at on Finch Street?
Yes.
The red brick house.
I just remember it's the Bird Street. I can never remember which bird, but it's a Bird
This
Street.
is after we moved away from.
Where was Finch Street?
It was right
Behind-
there by the high school.
behind the mall, between the mall and the high school.
Beforehand,
yeah.
I lived right down the street from Cole.
Between Sale and
Yes. So
what is that? Wesley?
Yeah.
So the CC's,
Oh, yeah.
the street that runs by the mall.
Flamingo.
Oh, CC's. Now we talking.
If you go down that road, it's off that road.
My wife ordered a CC's pizza 3 days ago.
Oh no.
I was not upset about it.
Okay, really?
They brought that cinnamon rolls out. I was like, hey, honey, at least you got cinnamon rolls with it. Okay.
So I hit the jackpot in this house. I don't know if I ever told anybody about this. I go to the garage one day, right? That's where the attic is. So I got up in the attic one summer. Nobody's home. Guess what I find up in the attic?
A box of nudie magazines.
Yes.
What day is it?
No kidding.
October. Nudie magazine day.
There were magazines up in the attic just sitting there, and I thought I hit the jackpot. And that was the first time I had actually like witnessed it all.
On your own time.
The full
Before then, it was just like, oh, those are boobs.
the full unveiling of the female body. And probably the male
Unbelievable.
body also.
But could you imagine, like, you're just I was bored, so I was like, I'm gonna go get up in the attic, see what's up there, and I stumbled across a stack of magazines.
Oh my gosh.
Are you kidding me?
Dude,
at that age?
This is what's funny. We didn't find it. So we would go.
That's what movies.
Unbelievable.
That's a movie.
I know, it's freaking unbelievable.
We would do what we now it sounds cheesy as hell. We go exploring. I'm doing air quotes.
Yeah.
We would get like our knives and our BB guns. We go walking around the woods or up and down the street. My
Yeah.
friends live in the country. One time, kind of similar to what we're just wandering with our knives and BB guns. We come across a creek with a bridge that goes
Yeah.
over it,
Yeah.
and somebody had hidden magazines underneath this bridge.
I have a story like this.
So we got our cache of nudie mags
Yeah.
from a creek bridge in the middle of the woods.
I seriously
So
have a
creepy.
very similar story. So you remember where I lived on Webb Street?
Yeah,
I lived
yeah.
there forever.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
We lived right next door to a bridge,
That bridge was
basically.
awesome. You would
And
ride
then
your bike. up
We'd
and down
ride
through
your
that.
bike up and down, and you felt like Evil Knievel.
Dude, that's where we hung out.
You had to,
Mexico
oh,
times.
dude. I remember out there hanging out with some neighborhood kids that y'all may know that shall remain nameless again. Put this on the list of
I
people.
know a few.
Okay. We'll just say they were brothers that lived around the corner from me, okay?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
One day, we'd played in that ditch all the time, so we knew what was in that ditch. We walked out there one day and we found a pile, by God, a pile of nudie magazines. Like somebody had just driven past and thrown them all out the window, right? And these kids, we all run up, we're like, oh my God, look at these magazines.
Jackpot.
I didn't take hand to the Bible. I didn't take any of them because I knew my sisters would find them. Okay, I have snooping sisters, but those boys, they each got 5 and put them in their clothes, and they skateboarded and roller skated home with all those magazines. I'll always remember that they had those for years after
No, this-
the day that magazines. Porno magazine. I mean, we looked at all of them that we could there in the ditch, but then when the people, we had to go home. They just
That's
had to
what I
take what
love.
we could carry.
About thinking about when we were kids. Because back when we were kids, money wasn't necessarily a thing. You bartered. So, like,
Oh,
if you had
totally.
cool stuff and
Dude.
you had something I wanted, I had something you wanted, we would trade stuff.
Dude, this is super 90s. I traded a yo-yo for a silver chair CD at school in the school cafeteria.
No, this is what I was going.
I feel like I traded stuff for bicycle parts one time.
no. So here,
Some pegs.
They were pigs.
there was one guy we all know him. I won't put him on this for this story, but again, we've already proved my mom's cool as shit. We would go after soccer games. We played select soccer in Dallas.
Yeah.
Sometimes we go to Hooters, and the cool thing back then was get Hooters stuff, right? So I got a Hooters calendar, and what I ended up doing was trading the month's girls, like the pictures, with people that couldn't have access.
No way.
So there was one person whose parents would never have been allowed. And he had fireworks, he had BB guns, he had fun stuff, but he never. So
I know what you're talking about.
So I would trade him Hooters calendar pictures for fireworks and BB guns and pocket knives. And then eventually
That kid sounds like an arms dealer.
he couldn't put them up in his room, so he would put them up in his closet.
Hilarious.
And one day he did get caught. His parents, and all hell broke loose, and he lost all those pictures. But I still had all my stuff that I had. I had a box of fireworks, BB guns, and
Chuck,
knives.
that is clever as shit, man.
That's genius.
That's genius. That is
Genius.
That is so
and then,
funny.
and then another time, I remember in middle school, school, one of our really good friends, they kind of they had found boxes of nudie mags and they started selling them out of their backpacks at the middle school. I remember in football, if you wanted one, they were selling them for like $5 or $10 each.
Oh damn,
Yeah.
that's some high markup. That's like a whole day's lunch money right there.
Hey, you sacrifice lunch, you got a nudie mag for the rest of the year.
Because
But
we
no,
didn't,
I mean, for real,
we didn't have the internet.
No,
Yeah,
you didn't.
no
We
internet.
didn't have that, so it was.
Guys, you can look at all the nudie mags you want now on your phone.
I'm the only
Matter of
guy in the
seconds.
neighborhood with a Hooters calendar, and I can cut the pages out. I mean, hello, jackpot.
I don't have to go to that kid's house anymore to look at his nudie
No,
mags.
no,
I just-
not at
I got
all.
my
Do you
phone.
remember the guy that lived right next door to you, basically in the big house?
Yes,
And his parents had stacks of them. Just
Yeah, they
in
were
their-
wild.
They were wild.
they were wild.
And he every now and then he would take us in there and be like, "Check these out, man. These are," and he would just act like it was no big deal because he's seen them for years, and we were all just like,
What the?
stacks and stacks of magazines.
Eyes are like
It's
this
like
big.
jackpot. Yeah, that guy.
Would they know if one was missing?
No, yeah, exactly. That was it. Like you would never know you would sneak in there. And be
no,
like,
it's
"Oh,
just
drink this one.
I distinctly remember. I mean, but like you said, we're trading yo-yos, games.
Oh, dude.
Me and you would play video games. I remember. I'll never forget because I had a red and black Sting mask.
Yep.
And and I had a red and black NWO flag.
We played for that.
and we would play Blitz and stuff for.
Dude.
We wouldn't play for money. We play for our stuff.
Yeah.
So hey, I'll put my flag up against your mask, and we'll play for it.
Chuck and I would play
That's good.
64 Blitz.
So I've been a
and
gambler my whole
wrestling.
life.
Yeah, dude. We were hustling. We were hustling parts.
Wouldn't that be cool if you could do that now? You
Oh,
could like
dude.
bet things like online with people like, hey, you're gonna be playing against Racer Kid 84, and he's betting you
know what?
his.
I wouldn't be surprised if that actually happened.
Yeah, he's like putting this thing up, and you're like, well, I can put this thing up.
I would be down on that.
That'd be cool, right?
That would be awesome. Sounds
My
like an
wife
app
would
we
probably
need to
let me
create.
do that instead of spending money.
Dude, not to derail too far, but we went to the racetrack a couple weeks ago, Lone Star Park. We got to go to that Dollar Day, dollar beers.
yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah. I've
Heck
heard
yeah.
that.
She'll be like, "What happened to our griddle?" Well, see, this guy beat me in Call of Duty the other day.
So I had to mail it to him.
Where's the high chair? Well, I ran out of stuff, so I
So-
put our high chair up.
But we got this Dale Earnhardt pit jacket.
That's right. Remember that Hulkamania shirt I always wanted? We got it.
In that same vein, let's talk about tech.
Oh, I thought
Video
I already
games.
say wrestling.
Oh, and wrestling. I mean, we can
Well,
go
I
into
love video games.
Yeah.
And I know Chuck loves video games because
Oh.
all he ever does is play Assassin's Creed because I'm online at the same time. And I just want you to know.
Cole's like, "Hey, will you play with me?" And I'm like,
I'm like,
I-
hey, Chuck, you want to play video games?
I'm
or
on
something?
this AC Origins or
Do
whatever.
you
which
have
one
like
I'm on.
baby in one hand and you're
Sometimes he
So
has to.
I do want
Yeah.
to
Oh, yeah.
sidetrack off real quick because we haven't got a chance. What do you play when you get on there?
Okay, so it's seasonal, because like sometimes certain games will have updates and it makes
Right.
you jump back into 'em. Like you talk about Fortnite and your
Oh,
son
yeah,
like will
yeah.
go back and forth on it, right?
Yeah.
And he'll be like, "It's cool now."
that and Minecraft. Now Minecraft's relevant again.
Exactly. So Grand Theft Auto is kind of relevant right now because they just did a big expansion.
Nice.
If you've never,
online Grand Theft Auto online,
Yeah, if you-
okay.
dude, if you've never played it online, I'm telling you, it is amazing. It's nothing like the
Let's check
story
it out.
mode. Like online GTA is.
See, I think I abandoned
awesome.
it before they put effort into it because I
Yeah.
played it when they first,
I mean, it came out in 2013.
Yeah,
it
and
came out
that's when-
6 years ago,
Yeah.
and it's still.
and that's when
Still
I first
slamming.
played it, and I was like, "This is kind of whack." But that's before they put effort into
It's
it.
still bringing players that to all gather up and play that haven't played months.
That's crazy.
That many years out. I mean, right now I'm playing GTA. I was playing MLB The Show for a little while. My nephew, who's 15, wanted me to play that new Spider-Man game, and
That's
so
sick.
he was like, "Here, man, just play it." And I was like, "I'll try it out." And it really is like
I was
it's
hooked
very
on that
fluid.
when it came out. It is sick.
It's really fluid, but I feel like my only downside to it is I like playing against other people.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like
Or
I'll
just
play
solo.
BF5, Battlefield 5. I downloaded Apex just in case you wanted to jump
I
on.
know
there.
that's what you. Yeah, and I had to delete it because I don't have room on my freaking PlayStation.
I know. Yeah.
because they did a big sale, and I pretty much got NBA the latest NBA 2K and the latest NHL game for like $5 total. So
Dude.
that took like all my memory because I had to download it. But
Yeah,
see-
I hate that about it.
I like the first player games. Like and you've seen what I'm on. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is like one of the best. I love Assassin's Creed anyway, but the Odyssey one is like the best one I've ever
Well, let me say,
and it is. I love it.
Let
And
me
I
say,
can't get enough of it.
you like the co-op because you like Call of Duty.
I do.
So imagine. So here's what's cool about GTA is if you can get in there with a couple other buddies, like you can do a 4-man heist, and you do these missions with you and 3 of your buddies,
Dude.
and it's just you versus the AI.
That's all my son does
and it's-
all day long.
You know what
He's
I mean?
in there with buddies. That's how they play.
So-
That's how they interact.
so-
That's how they hang out.
So on PlayStation, you can see what other people are playing, and Cole's
It's crazy.
I looked last night because I was curious. I'm halfway through like the story of Assassin's Creed, but I get sidetracked. I'll try to do all the. I've logged 74 hours of game time on this Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I'm not even halfway through the story.
I'm gonna see something real quick.
That is
Cole's calculating.
I will
I'm
play
I'm gonna
like
see something because I
2 or
spent
3 hours a night.
when when Battlefield 1 came out, I played that pretty hard because I really liked it, but I wasn't good at it, and I started playing with people. And yeah, I put 663 hours on Battlefield 1.
Dang, that's a lot.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
I don't play it anymore.
But so
But you just get in those modes and you're playing with your buddies, and it's like, there's what's fun about competitive playing pickup basketball is the competitive aspect of
Yeah.
it. Being with your friends and playing a sport like that. What makes it not fun is at the end of it you're beat tired. Like if you're playing a scrim and you're playing a first person shooter with your buddies, it's fun.
Yeah.
and
Right? You're talking, you're hanging out, you're drinking beer, you're
Oh,
sitting
yeah.
down, you're just chilling.
and we're 33 years old talking about this, and I think it's because
It was
when
the
we were
exact
growing
same.
up in the
Exact
90s, it was the video game boom. We got GoldenEye,
Yeah.
Mario Kart.
But we got those first person shooters. We got all these competitive games that you could only play with people that were in the same room with you.
Yeah, that's true.
Like if you played Mario Kart, which is still an amazing racing game.
Oh, yeah.
Like I feel like Mario Kart on 64, I think what helped it was being on 64, but it was still that game is amazing. If
Oh,
we had
yeah.
it right now, I'd play that.
For sure.
But you could only play with people that were there in the room. At most 4 people, which it was split screen with 4 people.
Yeah.
And you would tell your friends to bring
But
their
dude,
own remotes.
but
right?
that's when
Yes.
that's when instead of having one person stay the night, like I remember at my house, it'd be like you at least invite 3 other people so you
Yes.
can play 4-player games. So then it
Yes.
became like an event, like hey everyone.
But then you had to invite someone that had a 64 so they could bring their controller.
Right.
yeah,
Exactly.
And it's like hey we're all going to so and so's. We're playing GoldenEye. Bring your gear. Bring your controller.
Those times were
bring your
great,
games.
I remember people come over with their controller, or I go to somebody's house, their controller, their joystick would just be laying over to one side. I'd be like,
Oh, I remember-
oh my God, what do you do to this thing?
I remember taking my part to make my own custom color. Like my top part was yellow, my back part was black.
I used to take my G.I. Joes apart. So if I had a G.I. Joe, because I'd always play with the small G.I. Joes, right? Like that's what my parents would get me those. Because my sisters would never play with me. So I was like, I'm one of those kids like Andy from Toy Story. And
I did that too. I was by myself, so I played action
Thank you,
figures
right?
all day.
So if I had a G.I. Joe that I really liked and his leg broke off, I'd take the G.I. Joe's leg that I didn't like off and put it on that one. So if you go through my toy box, there's some that have it'll be a gray G.I. Joe with a green leg.
That's
Dude,
great.
yeah, that brings back a lot of memories too because those action figures, like Power Rangers,
Yes.
TMNT.
Yep.
My son
I had a
actually
lot of.
has-
I had buckets of wrestling
Yes,
figures, and
I
I
remember.
wish I would have hung on to them. I had the ring, and that's what I did. I did Turtle Sewer, like that was my kid stage, but even like preteen, I had all wrestling. Wrestling, I've mentioned before, wrestling was huge, especially in the '90s for me. I was hooked, and that's why I played with the action.
So
Oh, yeah.
I loved Ninja Turtles first, I feel like, but my number one wasn't Ninja Turtles.
What was it?
Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
snap,
no, I never
Dude.
had the toys, but a kid on my street had them.
I had the jumpsuit that zipped up, that I still have at my house.
That's awesome.
I'll take a picture of it and send it to y'all.
the Stranger Things.
And I had one. That's literally what it was like. I'll send it. Actually, mine was from Ghostbusters 2, and on the back it says, "Who you gonna call?" And there's a patch right here that's got the ghost doing like this. And I had a proton pack, and my buddy Patrick, that when I was growing up in Arlington, he also loved Ghostbusters, and he had the jumpsuit, but it was like a pajama jumpsuit, but he had the slime packs from Ghostbusters 2.
Nice.
So we go over there, and
Game
I could bring all
changer.
my Ghostbusting gear. He could have his Ghostbusting gear. We could really do some
See,
terror.
there's a kid on my street. He was probably 2 or 3 years older than me, and he had all the Ghostbusters. So he had like the actual action figure, like the car,
Yeah.
and the fire station playset thing,
Uh-huh.
and all that. So he had all the Ghostbusters, which was cool, but it was probably a little bit before. I wasn't that big into Ghostbusters back then. It was later
Yeah.
that I got into Ghostbusters.
The Ghostbusters, I feel like they had the movie, which was good.
Then it came out with the cartoon.
But it was the cartoon that set it
Yeah.
apart. Man, Ghostbusters is where it's at, bro.
But and then Power Rangers, of course.
But then
Power Rangers.
cartoons all in general, though, from
Yeah,
that time were
cartoons
great.
in general were unbelievable.
Like I remember, and I don't even think they have this now. Like when you would get home from school at like 3:30, there was like a cartoon block from like
Yes.
3:30 to like 5. My mom got home around 5, and there was a cartoon block.
Well, they've got so many channels now, they don't have to do it.
But I mean, they don't even make like Tailspin
oh,
and Rescue
Doug.
Rangers, Darkwing,
all the Nickelodeon
Doug,
stuff. Yeah.
Recess. Recess was Saturday morning. If there's one thing I miss
Recess was great.
is
Saturday morning cartoons.
Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah.
But here was the bullshit of Saturday morning cartoons. I felt like this is how it was early on, was they started it so early. They started like 7.
Yeah, it started at 7 a.m. Crack of dawn.
That's too
I think
early.
it started at 6, and I was there for it.
Oh my gosh. I just don't know any kid that's
I
like
think-
setting their alarm and trying
I
to
mean,
get up for
it's
that.
still
I think it went
exists now,
from
but
6 to 10. I think is what.
Yeah, that's what it was, 6 to 10. But yeah,
it was
Recess
one
would come
channel
on.
though. It was like 1 or 2 channels.
It was
were
channel.
It was the main channels. It was like
4,
ABC.
4, 8, and 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think Turtles came on 11, and then Recess came on 8. Because 8 was.
Yeah, but Oprah was on. So like when I got home, my mom was watching Oprah.
Dude, you talk about 90s, that's like classic.
Because
Oprah was classic.
I think Channel 8 is ABC, and they're owned by Disney. So they would put some Disney. That's where Tailspin, Darkwing Duck, and DuckTales.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
put that was on like cable. But you talk about Oprah. Oprah almost single-handedly ruined my childhood, preteen, teenager life because my mom watched Oprah, and it was one of those things like if it came on Oprah, it was a real life.
It was fact.
And if it had to do with teenagers and something going on, it was one of those. We need to talk. Let's have a talk.
Oh yeah. Well, my mom watched Oprah all the time.
It got to the point where I would come home, or my mom would be like, "Hey, we gotta talk," and the first response out of my mouth was, "What did Oprah say?" Because, like, drugs or sex or whatever's going on.
My
And
teenager's out of control.
Yeah, and I remember one time it was talk about TV, and this definitely doesn't happen anymore these days. But there was a very, I guess, pivotal,
Pivotal, yeah.
Nailed it.
episode of Home Improvement that we had to watch, and it was like one of those nighttime weekly shows, sitcoms, and it was the one where
Brad?
Yes, okay. It turned out to be Brad, but it was a cliffhanger because the week before, Tim and his wife, they found a bag of weed
Oh, no.
underneath the bench on the back porch, and it cut off. So this week's episode was which kid's bag of weed was it, and
yeah.
how do we address it? We had to watch that as a family. When I say as a family, I mean me and my mom had to sit on the couch and watch whose was it, and then we had to talk about why drugs are bad and this is what we should. We had a family. I don't know if y'all had to do that, but just
No,
me.
respect.
My mom was that way.
I'll tell you right now, respect on your mom, on Angie, because but for real.
But did it
'cause
work?
I never. Yeah, it did.
Do you feel like it worked?
It did.
I guess.
I'm telling you right now, it did because Chuck would always turn stuff like that down, and I never had conversations. Like that
I
with my
wasn't.
parents,
That wasn't my scene.
So it was just kind of like a free for all,
Yeah.
Chuck would always turn it down, for sure.
Yeah,
So I'm pretty just
larger
gave- I just
conversation.
gave myself up, but hey.
No. I was.
Hey, man, you can
let's-
say that
let's-
now.
Let's straighten it out now.
Yeah.
I remember.
Growing up,
But it
I'd
worked.
rather drink. When we got to that stage, we were trying to do stuff. I was a drinker. I'd rather
Yeah.
drink I don't know if it might have been a mental thing. I don't know.
I think it worked.
I always
think it
passed. I was
worked.
like, no, I'm good. It's not my thing. I'd rather just.
I think it worked.
Hey, just give me that bottle of liquor. I'll be fine.
Yeah, like I don't feel like. I remember when I was the first party I went to that somebody had it at.
Yeah.
They had weed at.
Yeah.
And I felt super uncomfortable and I left.
Yeah.
See, I was always where I was. Hey, I'll be cool around it. Like y'all can, no big deal. Just I'm gonna pass and just don't give me a hard time about it.
Yeah.
and I'm
Right.
good.
Yeah.
But
My
anyway,
parents never gave me that talk.
it may have been because of Oprah and Tim Allen. I don't know.
That's kind of what I was, like,
I don't
maybe
know.
it worked, maybe it didn't. But it's. I think it's good
But-
that she sat down and talked to you about it.
But anyway, that's,
You know?
it's just one of those things that I don't think happen now. So that's just
That's
the world I
hilarious.
lived in.
But Home
My
Improvement
mom
was.
tried
But
to keep
also-
me on lockdown.
But, I mean, mind you, it wasn't that long ago that weed was still totally illegal
Oh yeah.
nationwide.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Frowned
so,
upon and
yeah,
like,
so-
oh no.
So blame it on Tim Allen. He was he was behind the times, right? And Oprah,
Which is
Hilarious.
funny now
Oh,
when you
Oprah.
get older and realize like he went to prison for like cocaine and stuff
Oh,
like
did
that.
he really? I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah, in the
Holy
80s.
crap.
man liked to rock and roll, brother.
But
That's crazy.
anyway, I mean, I remember TV shows is like Tim. So there's one TV show my all time like candy was the 90s. It was on TGIF.
Oh, hey, you know what? I'll drink to that.
Let's do
Here's
that.
here's the
Shot.
TGI
One more
Friday.
shot, everybody. You okay?
Hey,
We're getting
thank
ready
God
to
it's
wrap this up.
Fireball, right, boys?
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, that show was the Corey Matthews. Because that was my favorite show of
Boy
all
Meets
time.
World.
Boy Meets World. Corey, actually, you know what we should have showed to?
Yeah.
Topanga.
Topanga.
Oh, fine
Everybody's
ass.
crush.
Topanga.
Topanga, though. That was
And
a dang name.
I'm gonna,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just gonna throw in real quick. Baywatch, Pamela Anderson. That's it.
Baywatch.
Yeah, if that's the video of Pam that you watched, cool. Baywatch.
I watched Baywatch.
Talk about Boat Watch with Tommy Lee.
Yeah, crushes. Topanga, Pamela Anderson,
Oh,
Carmen
man.
Electra. Dude,
Carmen Electra.
Carmen Electra.
Jenny McCarthy. She did Sold Out on MTV. The date. Do you remember that? The dating show on MTV.
Rosie O'Donnell.
Roseanne.
So were you guys allowed to watch Simpsons?
No. Oh no, I take that back. I was.
I was.
My wife was not.
I was
Absolutely.
not.
You know what's funny is my wife tells me all the time. Her and her parents would sit down at dinner every night and they would watch The Simpsons while they would eat dinner as a kid. I'm just
Which
like,
is funny because
mind blown because I was not allowed to watch.
not that I'm a
Simpsons.
big watcher of The Simpsons, but like if I catch it, like I'll stop on it.
Yeah.
Like right now, if nothing else is on. And my
hold-
wife to this day will walk in and be like, "That's a bad show. We don't watch that."
Really?
Yeah, because she never got to watch it. Like that
Oh.
was like when they were in their house.
My wife lets me watch trash. She lets me watch the worst stuff, and she's like, "You watch the dumbest stuff."
No, she's like, "Hey, turn the Simpsons off. That's awful. We need to watch Teen Mom OG
Oh yeah.
Oh, gross.
or The Real Housewives."
Catherine watches the hell out of the Real Housewives, though.
but
Oh my gosh.
no. Boy Meets World is and was like my
Oh, dude.
favorite. That and Home Improvement. Tim Allen,
sure.
regardless of Brad and his weed.
Well,
Yeah.
I like.
yeah,
like
but
Home
TGI
Improvement.
Friday was like
Family Matters.
everything was great. Step by step, Full
Yeah,
House.
Step by Step
Full
was
House.
good.
God,
Full House,
was a
yeah.
classic, dude.
But like I'll tune into those now, but like I will legit sit down and watch. If they did a Boy Meets World marathon, I would still to this day
Oh, yeah.
sit down and watch it.
I do that with
but
Full
like the,
House.
But
like,
Zach, see now I can't do it. Like
I
I'm
love
just
Full
like
House. My kids love Full
I can't
House.
do
They
it.
love
Y'all
watching
watch
Full House.
Fuller House, don't you?
No, we watch Full House.
Okay.
The legit Full House. 90s. Danny Tanner going in.
Oh, yeah.
Danny Tanner.
Jesse Spano.
Oh, yeah.
Kimmy Gibbler, dude. And Step by Step was great too. I used to love. And Steve Urkel, Family Matters.
And
Come on.
hey, hold on, this I'm throwing a curveball. Did y'all ever watch Blossom?
No.
No, I didn't watch Blossom.
I found it like during the summer. Like it's one of those that came on during the day in the summer is the only reason I found it. And it's the Lawrence. So Joey Lawrence was on Blossom. His younger brother was on Boy Meets World.
oh, yeah. He was like the brother, right?
Like when Eric was Corey's brother, and they were like college. He was Sean's brother
Okay.
on Boy
Okay.
Meets World. And when they went to college or whatever, they all lived together. Man, I feel like I grew up with Boy Meets World.
You did.
I'm better friends with Corey and Sean than Cody.
Hey,
So
It's hilarious.
I get that. Sometimes I feel like I'm better friends with Doug.
Hey, Patty mayonnaise.
And Skeeter. Roger.
Dude.
Quail man.
Nickelodeon in general, like hidden
Drumming on a street.
Legends of the
light.
Hidden Temple, Guts.
Snick. Saturday Night Nick.
Yeah. Oh,
Are you afraid of the dark?
Camp on Awana.
Hey,
Remember
guys.
that one?
Camp on Awana.
Pete and Pete.
Oh my god,
Dude.
Pete and Pete was great.
Pete and Pete is the best.
Dance. What was your name on his arm?
Petunia.
Dance, Petunia. Dance.
No, Pete and Pete was like my jam.
Pete and Pete
That
was
was
great.
such like a low key. Like I don't know of anybody that really watched Pete. I loved Pete and Pete.
I watched it
Pete
all the
was
time
great.
because it was like weird. It was like
It was
it,
quirky.
it pulled you in. It made you want to watch it. Like the mom had a plate in her head that she could get radio signals off of. Right. The
and I never figured out the 8-year-old.
there was
Pete,
the two brothers were
And
both
he-
named Pete.
And
Same
he had
kids.
I don't know if that was a real tattoo or a fake tattoo. And in the show, we had that, what we were just doing, Petunia, and he would rotate her wrist and make her dance.
Yeah.
What about Salute Your Shorts? Wasn't that
Yes,
like the
Oh, my
Camp
God.
on Awana, we hold you in our hearts. And when I think about you, it makes me want to fart.
It's I hope we never part. Now get it right and pay the price. No, yeah. Salute your shorts is great.
No, I remember that because one of the characters' name was Donkey Lips.
Oh yeah, Donkey Lips. Which he's the only one that like actually went on and did more stuff
Yeah,
afterwards.
right, exactly.
Clarissa Explains It All. We talked
Yeah,
about that.
I like, dude. That show was crazy.
She had a pet alligator named Elvis in
and
her
that dude
room.
always came through her window like.
But it was
Yeah.
like her best friend that was a guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And it wasn't weird. It
Right.
wasn't like he was trying to date her.
Yeah, yeah,
It was just
exactly.
like, you know,
What's up? I'm here
we're
to hang out.
friends.
Yeah.
Right?
Bullshit the front door. I'm just coming up to the window. But that's how things were back then.
Yeah, for sure.
Like just in general. Like it would have been. I don't think it'd be any big thing back then if, like, just walk in, you know, to
I
a
gotta-
girl's house and.
I got to mention these last three.
Okay.
Fresh Prince, obviously.
Yeah.
Dude, Will Smith was huge in this.
Still holds up though.
Philadelphia.
But also, but Fresh Prince is also a timeless classic. Like, say what you will, Cosby Show, Friends,
Yeah. Oh, for
like MASH. The Fresh Prince is still will always be.
Yeah.
Side note: have you seen that fake trailer that they made for
I
Fresh
have.
Prince?
I have.
That's like modern, and if it was a drama, and it's basically the exact same story,
No
and
way.
it's still like they could tell this. It's pretty amazing.
That's
I'll,
awesome.
Yeah,
I'll
it's-
send it
it's
to you.
pretty
Yeah,
cool.
send it to
And
me.
it's real cool.
So what about Beekman's World and Bill Nye the Science Guy?
So Beekman's World and Bill Nye, it was like you had your poor man's Bill Nye, though, right? But we watched Bill. The thing was,
Beekman's World was
we watched
great.
Bill Nye at school,
Yeah.
and then we watched Beekman's World on Saturday mornings, right? Because he had that
That
pet.
goes back to the Saturday
His
morning.
sidekick was that guy in a rat suit, right?
And the weird lady.
And
the
when he
quirky-
talked, he kind of talked like he was like moving his head around like he's a game show host. Oh, Beekman's World! I haven't thought about
Beekman's
Beekman's World
World's great.
forever.
So like the I remember Beekman, but there's another show, and most people don't even know about this one. Did you ever watch it? It was called Fudge, and it was about a little brother. It was a live action. It was about a little brother and an older brother. The little brother's name was Fudge, and my stepbrother at the time would get pissed because I would look forward to that one. But basically, this kid like played pranks and did weird shit to his older brother all the time. So I would pick stuff up off the show and try to do it in real life. Of course, it never worked, and it just pissed everybody off. And so everyone like quit making me watch it because I would try all the stuff I'd see. on the
Charlie, gotta quit watching Fudge.
yeah, exactly. But anyway,
Let's transition into sports.
yeah, let's do sports
tie
because
it up.
that's. I mean, 90s. What? So when you say 90s sports, what comes to your
First thing that comes to mind.
Dallas
90s
Cowboys.
sport. Yeah.
Is mine for me? It's the Dallas Cowboys.
Mine
Dallas
is,
Cowboys?
Mine is the Bulls, Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan.
Fair.
I think I'm
Fair
right.
assessment.
Good with
Rodman.
that.
Okay.
Mine's
hear-
mine's different. Mine's Brett Favre just because that's
Okay.
me. And
Hey, but Brett Favre's great though. I think number 4 is still one of my favorite numbers because I like Brett Favre for so long.
thank you. See,
My high school girlfriend, I gave her my Brett Favre jersey. I'm pretty sure she still got it. I just pissed me off.
hey, if you know who you are listening to that, we need that back because I'm going to get it off Cole.
I think she lives here in this town. I'm
Oh.
gonna go knock on her door.
Okay.
Come on, knock on my door.
And I hope she doesn't have it because her husband would be pissed.
I know who you're talking about.
It's in that box in the back of the closet. Oh, but yeah, so 90s Bulls, 90s Cowboys.
I have a funny story. 90s Bulls, like Michael Jordan was huge, right? Like Nike, Jordans, blah blah blah. So I asked for a Michael Jordan jersey for Christmas one year. And my grandmother instead of getting me a Michael Jordan jersey because they were all sold out, got me a Dennis Rodman jersey, which I was not allowed to wear.
I don't see anything wrong with this.
But you kind of come into this story too.
Oh yeah, I know I do.
So
I'm
I got this
smiling
Dennis Rodman jersey, and I actually wore it to school one day, and it happened to be picture day. So I have it documented now. And then apparently, which I totally forgot about, you won that jersey off of me. The Dennis
You either
Rodman
gave it
jersey.
to me, or like we talked about how we would play each other for each other's stuff.
Yeah.
Like we'd play games
Yeah.
for each other's stuff. Somehow, I wanted that Rodman jersey real bad.
I feel like I didn't just give it up. I feel like you probably won it off of me, or we did like
we did
fair
it. We did
trade.
a blitz game
blitz
for the Rodman jersey, and I ended up with it. That's how long we've been friends.
Yeah,
Like that's how much
crazy.
we've. And I was just
I
telling
totally
y'all
forgot about
when we
that.
weren't recording, when we moved into our new house 2 years ago, I still had that jersey hanging up in my closet.
That's hilarious.
And it may be in a box in the attic now, because that
That is
was
hilarious.
like when I was younger, and I wasn't like a jersey collector, but I was into jerseys. So I had like, I remember, and specifically, Dennis Rodman was one of my. I was never a big Jordan guy. Like I don't know if y'all were Jordan
Really?
guys.
Oh, I was a huge Jordan
My
fan.
My sister was she played basketball, and so she loved Michael Jordan. She
Yeah.
had like a Bulls, one of those like satin jackets.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? It's like it looks like
Yeah.
a Letterman jacket,
Yeah.
but it's like not leather.
90s.
It's like it's like satin or something, right?
So
know what
Nate
you're talking about. Okay.
Nate was on one of
She had
our
a satin jacket to prove it.
Nate talked NFL with us on one of our very first episodes, and he still remembers me in intermediate school because my top three, I had jerseys. I had some cool ones that he even remembers, but my top three favorite NBA players were Akeem Olajuwon. So I had a Rockets Akeem Olajuwon jersey, Charles Barkley. I didn't have his jersey, and then Dennis Rodman, and I ended up with your Bulls Rodman jersey.
Yeah.
And then at the tail end of his career, he came to Dallas for like a handful of games, and I begged and pleaded to go see Rodman in a Dallas jersey, or in a Dallas uniform, and
Yeah.
I got a Rodman Dallas Mavericks
No way.
jersey.
That's good.
In my attic, but that was
forgot
a
he played in
huge
Dallas.
Rodman like. And here's my thing with sports: I do draw a line between off the court and on the court. It's like on the court or on the field. If you ball out,
Yeah.
I could care less. Rodman was weird,
Yeah.
but and he was all 90s. Like everyone remembers Rodman.
Totally,
But dude, he was one of my favorite basketball.
He was a
players.
good baller, dude. He was-
And odd
he would shut
story.
you down.
So
The worm.
and he had such a reputation. I had to go to Seattle for work. No, it wasn't Seattle. Sorry, it was L.A. about 3-4 years ago for work. We had a 6 o'clock flight back to Dallas, and everyone's lined up to get on the plane. And there's this one dude off on the bench, by the way, sitting by himself. And I look at my coworker and I leaned over there. I was like, "It's Dennis fucking Rodman."
No way.
She's like, "Go up there." I said, "I can't. I'm terrified." Like it was 6 a.m. He looked pissed, and
It was legit Dennis
No, yeah, I took a picture of him, and then
Freaking
I didn't go up and talk to him. No one did because I feel like I was the one talking the most about him, and I feel like if I would have done it, everyone did. But it was legit 6 o'clock California time, so it was like 4 o'clock Dallas time.
Yeah.
And he looked pissed. But I don't know if that's just how he looks all the time. So she was like, go, do that. I didn't. I took some pictures of him, off to the side. And then we get off and I was like, is he on our flight? Like, cause he didn't get up or nothing. We land in Dallas, get in the bathroom. Everyone's using their after playing piss. And here comes Dennis Rodman just
Shut
walking
up.
in, just doing his business. I'm like, this is definitely not the time to talk to Dennis Rodman. So I just kept my mouth shut and walked off. But I could have
Dude, that's
talked in
crazy.
that Dennis Rodman and passed on it because I was terrified that he would punch me.
He's a scary individual. He's weird.
But that's
So,
part of his shtick, though, right?
It
To be
is.
that intimidating.
Yeah. So I was, but anyway,
You know
that's
that
my
helps him on the basketball
Oh,
court.
yeah.
So and then you talk about like 90s Cowboys. I
90s
did
Cowboys.
I did meet Michael Irvin at the airport one time, and I did shake his hand. And no kidding, it was our senior trip. Me and my other buddy we were going to Mexico. We were in international, and we're standing there, and we seen this guy running back and forth between a ticket and the breakfast place. He's trying to get his breakfast and hold up the plane at the same time. Dude's running back. I stop. My stepdad and my friend are there, and my mom's like in the bathroom. And I said, "That's Michael Irvin." I said, "That's the playmaker." No, it's not. I know Michael Irvin when I see Michael Irvin. And sure enough, it was. And we went up to him and talked to him. hey, how's it going? Cool as can be. He signed, like, we just had random hats like me and Cody have. He signed our hats and, talked to us for a second. And now I know why he's in the Hall of Fame and why he's such a good wide receiver. We shook hands with him, and it's like his hand is like 8 foot long. Like, it is fucking huge. Like, I shook hands, and my hand just disappeared. And I don't have small hands. It's just, dude, his hands, like, you hear people talk about NFL wide receivers or basketball players and how big their hands are.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever encountered someone like that or has hands like that. Their hands are fucking huge.
unbelievable.
And that's the first time I ever experienced it. But anyway, Michael Irvin, I did meet him, 90s Cowboys.
Nice.
And I do remember those Super Bowls. Like, Super Bowl parties were a thing back then, too. And I remember you would win, like, I have a Troy Aikman Dallas Cowboys collector's mug that I won because I predicted, like, the halftime score of, like, the 93 Bowl or something like that.
I feel like it's also, though, ironic to think about, like, the 90s were, like, the heyday of the Cowboys, but in a way, it was also, like, the demise of the Cowboys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was.
Because to be honest, like, they really haven't made, like, a solid, like, showing since.
No.
Well, no, I searched the WhiteHouse.com. They had the White House in Dallas, and I think that's where some of their power came from. I don't know. Do y'all know about the White House in Dallas?
You looked it up on WhiteHouse.com?
No. I said, no, the White House was a thing in the 90s. We had WhiteHouse.gov with Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. Me and David searched WhiteHouse.com, which was an adult site.
We searched it together. It was both of our decision.
Yeah, we
take full responsibility.
We put our arms over each other like real bros do, and we searched it. We hit go. And then, no, the Cowboys, the 90s Cowboys had the White House. Do y'all know what the White House was?
No.
Okay, so right like across the street from Valley Ranch, like the practice facility, they legit had a house called the White House. And that was the hangout. That was where Nate Newton, Michael Irvin, that was where the cocaine and hookers were.
Okay.
Like
Nice.
everyone went to the White House. The 90s Cowboys went to the White House
I believe that.
to
That's
hang
rock
out.
and roll right there.
That's
And
freaking
Google
rock and roll.
Google the Cowboys White House. You'll know what I'm talking about. But I mean, that's where where
Gonna
they
put that
busted.
on my phone right
so
now.
basically, bring back
No,
the
that-
cocaine and the hookers.
No, that's where they busted everybody. When they busted, I think Michael Irvin and whatever, it was at the White House. Like they had to, everyone knew about it, but no one. And then finally they had to bust it. So they SWAT teamed that sucker, and it was cocaine and hookers, like legit.
I got it on my phone. I'm gonna do some research on that.
Do
right
it.
now. This will be good.
Research White House, Dallas Cowboys, and
I've
it
never
will
heard of
not
that.
turn up adult sites, but it will turn up hookers and cocaine.
Just as good.
Hey. Same book, different pages.
A recipe for success.
Amen, brother.
But yeah, and so bring back the cocaine and hookers, and we're going good to go.
That's crazy.
But yeah, and then
So let's tap into wrestling, Chuck, real quick. If you can do that real quick. Hulk Hogan.
we can. So the night,
I've got a little bit of wrestling knowledge.
okay,
Minor.
I have way more than any person should have, and not be in wrestling.
Huge in the 90s.
But
yeah.
but it started because my dad was into it in like the 80s. So when I was a kid, like I remember that was Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, Andre the Giant,
Yeah.
all your classic people. I remember my dad, we would wrestle in the living room, we'd watch that stuff. And then I distinctly remember Bash at the Beach 96, I think. And that's when it used to be Diesel and Razor Ramon were in the WWF.
Yes.
And they showed up on WCW Nitro as Scott Hall and Kevin Nash.
Everybody's lives were changed.
And then they played. So there was a big match, Bash at the Beach. They were talking about invading WCW. It was Sting, Macho Man, and Lex Luger versus Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. And a mystery third partner was going to join them and like take over. And the whole thing was who was it going to be? And then so Scott Hall and Kevin Nash start whooping up on Macho Man. Blah blah blah. All of a sudden, I am a real like Hulk Hogan's music starts blaring. He walks out that red and yellow.
NWO then.
Yes,
America,
he starts
yeah.
walking out that red and yellow, and gets in the ring like he's about to whoop Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. They hop out. He turns around, leg drop on Savage, and then he basically it's the NWO.
Yeah.
He joined. He's the third man. And that dude, you talk about music changed your life. Hulk Hogan
yeah.
going NWO changed my life.
It like totally changed wrestling though.
did.
No,
Oh,
no, yeah, and I mean,
Because he totally rebranded himself.
right,
And wrestling,
yeah,
to be honest.
yeah. So I mean, and then that was the NWO. And I remember that Christmas talking about you gotta You wanted MJ, you got Rodman. I got a black and white NWO shirt. That Christmas. So like 6 months later,
Yes.
I had my NWO shirt. And then from then on it was, because that was 96, 97 or 98 is when Mike Tyson showed up and got in Stone Cold Steve Austin's face. And that was that was when Stone Cold and Mike Tyson got into it. That's what really set off, because I still listen. I've talked about this on the podcast episode.
Yeah.
I still listen to wrestling podcasts when they go back and talk about like 90s wrestling.
Yeah.
Dude, you talk about TV ratings for like, if you don't understand wrestling in its heyday, like in the 90s,
Astronomical.
they were pulling like NFL Monday night, Sunday night football numbers. Like it was like 8s and 9s and 10s, which like for comparison, a standard Mavericks game these days may get a 2.
I mean, it was so good that
may get a 2 if they're
Vince
lucky.
McMahon was single-handedly able to buy all of it
Yeah, no,
and
yeah,
own
sure.
wrestling.
Yeah. And
'Cause he was
now
doing
it's a
so well.
and now it's a multi-billion-dollar company,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's a whole nother thing. But back then it wasn't publicly traded; it was all private wrestling, and that's when they could do whatever they wanted. But anyway, that's when Stone Cold, Hulk Hogan, Sting,
Mankind.
NWO, D-Generation X. You may have never watched wrestling, but I guarantee you or your friend was in the bedroom dropping that DX suck it sign.
Shawn Michaels.
Wherever, whether you watched it or not, you knew what you knew what Austin 316 was, you knew what DX was, and you knew what the NWO
And you
was.
always knew what you could smell.
Oh, dude.
Oh yeah, and you want to talk about Dwayne Johnson, the biggest movie star in the world right now,
yeah.
wrestler.
Yeah. Wrestler. He was a freaking.
And I remember watching him when he
Wrestler.
was like, he was a joke when he first started. Like he was nothing.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
everyone laughed at him.
some washed up football player that stumbled
He
into wrestling.
played for the Hurricanes, Miami Hurricanes. A
Unbelievable.
lot of wrestlers played football, but yeah. You know what? Odd story about The Rock. Talk about 90s. He was on the 90s Hurricanes team that won national title.
Oh, yeah.
He guess who his backup was? Backup. Only got to play when he got hurt. Warren Sapp.
No way.
Yeah, Warren Sapp backed up Dwayne Johnson. Warren Sapp got to play because he got hurt. So anyway, he played with all those like I can't even think of it.
I
The
remember-
90s Hurricanes, like the Warren Sapp. I want to say I don't think Derek Brooks was on it, but there was a list of like big name NFL players that played on Hurricanes, and The Rock was on those teams.
Well, not to get too sidetracked on that, though, but you can have you watched the 30 for 30 on the U?
Yeah,
Oh, have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen that.
There's 2 of them.
Yeah.
There's the first one, and then there's like a
because
second one.
there's
But,
probably the 80s.
there's the 80 ones, and then there's the 90s.
Because Michael, speaking of the White House, Michael Irvin was on the 80s Hurricanes teams.
Okay. No
so
way.
is Jimmy Johnson.
Yep, Jimmy
He was
Johnson.
the head coach.
So Jimmy Johnson was the coach
Dude, I'm
of the
serious.
Hurricanes. Yeah.
30 for 30. Watch the U.
The U? Okay.
Anybody who's listening to this,
I'm gonna watch
watch 30 for 30 the U, and then if you like that one so much, go watch
The 90s.
the U Part 2. I think is what it's called.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude,
Because that's
okay.
the 90s. That's when they revamped back up.
Okay.
That's when Warren Sapp and they won titles in the 90s.
Crazy.
And I liked the I didn't watch much college, but I did like the Hurricanes in the 90s. That was probably my team, but yeah, anyway, wrestling complete. I could go on and on.
Oh, I know.
But
yeah. But
dude,
wrestling was huge in the 90s.
everybody was watching.
Yeah. That's why I love Post
I mean, you
Malone
would
so
walk
much,
in the
'cause Post Malone loves wrestling.
You would walk through the hallways and hear people talk about what happened. Like if you missed Monday Night Raw,
Yeah.
you were lost.
Yeah,
like
for
when you
sure.
went to school, because people would be talking about in the hallways and stuff like that.
When I worked at Chili's as a bartender, I would do Monday nights. They'd book me every Monday to bartend, and I'd say, it's Monday Night Raw Monday. So if you're coming, you just be prepared to watch Raw. And so
Dude.
that was my shtick, like every Monday night.
Heck
And
yeah.
I'd had people that come in and watch and
Watch
sit at the
Raw.
bar just to watch Raw.
That's fantastic.
I didn't
I
care.
would be there if I do that. But so last thing I want to say about the wrestling is that, so you talk about nostalgia and bringing stuff back. So for the first, I always said WrestleMania, other pay-per-views came to Dallas. WrestleMania never came to Dallas. And I always said, even when I was a kid, if WrestleMania ever comes, I'm going. So I kind of quit watching years ago. I'll check in from time to time.
yeah.
If like last week they had a big Raw reunion, Stone Cold, Hulk Hogan, Ric
Yeah.
Flair, all the old guys were back last week. So
heard
I did
about
tune in, and it went viral. WrestleMania came to Cowboy Stadium like 3 or 4 years ago.
Did it really?
and I got tickets for it. And me and my buddy, who are lifetime wrestling fans, we both went
Yeah, Troy.
and had the time of our life. And
Oh,
we
it's
didn't-
amazing.
And we didn't even know like half the people that were wrestling like
Yeah.
now. But like one of the matches was The Undertaker only comes back for WrestleMania. He did a Hell in a Cell with Shane McMahon. So we got to watch Shane McMahon get thrown off the top of the cage.
So like I didn't watch a whole lot of wrestling grow up. I watched some of it, but I wasn't like just super into it. And then as I got like in high school, I really didn't keep up with it. But my brother-in-law is super into it, and we went and saw. It was like 4th of July weekend, and
Yeah.
they did Raw, SmackDown, and ECW in one night because they wanted to knock them out before the weekend. So it was Monday, and they did all three shows. It's like 6 hours of wrestling. We left early, but dude, it is like if you've never been,
Yeah.
go because it's like a rock concert.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, so I went back in the 90s.
We went to Monday
in,
Night
in its
Nitro.
heyday. We went to a WCW Monday Night Nitro, so we got to see the NWO, all that,
yeah.
and then we went to what they call a house show, which is a show but not televised. We went to it, so we got to see Stone Cold, DX, The Undertaker, all that.
Yeah.
But fast forward 20 years or whatever to 3 or 4 years ago, and you go to it. What was so much fun was when you pay to go to this thing, you basically know I'm a 33-year-old. I'm going to a wrestling event. But the great thing about WrestleMania is it's such like it's a global. People fly in for run. But when you get there, it's basically like I paid for this. I'm all in. So it's like, hey, we're going in. And
But everybody is.
no cares. No. People that I never knew watch wrestling. Like friends, like Facebook friends and stuff. I would tag us. We're having time. Everyone's like, "Oh yeah, we're here too. This is great." What?
Yeah.
But it was it. You're sitting there with 33 other 100,000 people who have been watching this since they were 10 years old, just like we were, losing their minds. And then, of course, about midway through, it's like a downer in the show. That glass breaks. And Stone Cold Steve Austin comes out to 100,000 screaming people
you're
in
a kid
Cowboy
again.
Stadium, and because we were getting up, like we were like, "Hey, let's go get some beer or step outside or something, stretch our legs," because it's like a 6-hour show.
Yeah.
And we get up and turn around, and it's actually Mick Foley came out first, so Mankind,
Yeah.
then Shawn Michaels, and they brought out a third guy, and then so they're talking, and all of a sudden we get up and we're like, "Yeah, whatever." Mankind come out, Shawn Michaels, we turn around, and then all of a sudden. Place comes unglued. Like, YouTube, Dallas WrestleMania, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Like, I'm talking the roof popped
Insane.
off this place. Nuts. But anyway, that was a way sidetrack on wrestling.
No,
But
man,
it was big
wrestling
back
was
then.
huge
I
in
can't
the
stress
90s.
enough. People had shirts in school,
Yeah.
and it's just some people phased out of it, others didn't.
Hey, can't blame me.
So
It's good.
Let's
But-
real quick baseball, like King Griffey Jr.,
oh man,
Tiger
Barry
Woods,
Bonds,
Tiger
Griffey.
Woods, golf, all that stuff. 90s World Cup, Women's World Cup.
I remember,
Indiana.
dude. We talked about this before. I remember watching that World Cup final, and what's her name? Was it Chastain?
Yeah.
Where she
yeah.
took her. We're watching a shootout. 90. Was it 94 or 96?
94. It was 94.
94.
Yeah. Same,
Wins the
same
shootout.
time OJ.
Girl takes her shirt off, and all of a sudden I'm 9 years old and see a sports brawl on live television. Lose my mind. But no, and it's soccer. Soccer in a brawl. Perfect. This is the best day of my life. But I distinctly remember that World Cup win for that reason.
They built the stadium that I will always call the ballpark in
Yes.
Arlington in the 90s.
Which is retiring this year.
This is the last year for it.
Yeah.
It was also the first year that the Rangers actually made a decent run.
Have you been yet this year? Are you planning on going?
Yeah,
last year?
yeah, I think we're going to go in August.
Okay.
I'm not.
We haven't been yet either, but we're going.
No, I'm not. I'm ready for that
But
indoor.
you're right. That's when it was built, right?
Yeah,
Or
in the
it was
90s.
in the 90s, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember living in Arlington and going to the old ballpark.
Yeah.
We could sit on the back porch and hear them calling out the Rangers at the
remember.
old stadium.
That was the first time I went. Was my dad took us to my very first baseball game at the ballpark in Arlington.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But yeah, King Griffey Jr. was huge.
Oh, yeah.
Mark McGuire, King Griffey Jr. What other baseball?
Which
players
King
did
Griffey
play?
played with his dad. I didn't realize that. He played
Yeah,
2 seasons with his dad.
Barry
Bonds,
Sosa.
Sosa. Yeah.
But you know, in 4 years, guys, Bronny, LeBron James
Sick.
Jr., it
He's
could happen.
legit. He's already dunking.
But like, it could happen.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
no reason LeBron would retire in 4 years.
Yeah, I think they're planning on doing it. Sure.
Yeah. I think that's what he's holding out for, is hoping that he can play a couple with his son.
He's still playing great though.
Yeah.
Talk about Jordan. Jordan came back and played like crap
No, he didn't. Go back and watch those Wizards games. He did not play like crap.
when he was with the Wizards.
No, he didn't play like crap.
He didn't play like LeBron.
That's
I'm not saying LeBron's better than Jordan.
I'm stepping away from this convo because I have
Chuck's not
opinions of
he has
LeBron.
some- okay.
Chuck's not a
So,
Bron fan.
we can go on and on, but yeah, no, it's just that time, '90s, just that sports, everything. I
It's
mean,
great.
football,
Hockey
that,
was
and,
huge,
and,
too.
and football. You talk about, yeah, we need to touch on hockey, but like football, I fell in love with Brett Favre because of the Cowboys. Because I remember, like, my dad's a diehard Cowboys fan.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, I think it was a Thanksgiving or something, and the Cowboys always with the Packers with Brett Favre. But I remember watching the Cowboys whoop up on the Packers, but watching this dynamic quarterback just, and I was young. That's why I just
Roll
started
out.
getting. Yeah, I'm just like, I know I'm supposed to be rooting for the Cowboys. If this dude is like unreal on this
Yeah.
other, and that's when I fell in love with football. Brett Favre specific.
Brett
just-
Favre quarterback club.
Yeah. So that's when watching Brett Favre play those '90s Cowboys is what started my whole football craze, like,
Really?
and sports craze in general. So when I go crazy about Brett Favre, that's where it comes from, because like my sports love, everything came from
No, but Brett Favre in
Watching
the
him
90s
play.
was like hot.
at the time.
He was
at-
great.
at the time before Peyton and Tom Brady came along. He was the only NFL player to win 3 MVPs, and I think he won them in a row, if not
Yeah.
3 out of 4 years in a row. So, and then he won. So, I mean, you're talking impressionable years. I'm 10, and he wins his first Super Bowl. I'm 11. He goes and loses to John Elway in the second Super Bowl. In that span, he wins 3 MVPs. So, I mean, that's right when you're starting to figure out what you like and don't like, and I'm just watching this dude just go nuts. And then he just turns out to be like the Iron Man of football and plays until I'm in college, so then I'm just hooked for life.
Oh, yeah.
And now I get hate for it, but he was a bad man. Y'all know it.
I like Brett Favre. I mean, he looked tough in his last year.
But and then we had but then, like I said, we had the hockey. The
Stars won a.
was it '99 they won the Stanley
Yeah,
Cup?
they won a Stanley
And
Cup.
I
I
remember
watching
that.
it.
That
I
was a
stayed
big
up
deal.
watching it.
Yeah.
What was his name? God, Brett
Hull.
Hull. Yeah.
Mike McDonald and Brett
Mike
Hull.
McDonald. Yeah.
Brett Hull and Mike Messier, they had a shoe commercial for a little while for these shoes that you could wear when you were playing street hockey.
No way.
Yeah.
Dude, which was funny because we did, like, I think we mentioned, we were big into rollerblade, and we played street hockey, and it's mainly from watching hockey. Then the Stars run, and
Stars, yeah.
we were hooked on the
Mighty
Mighty
Ducks.
Ducks.
Yes,
Yes,
brother.
the Flying V,
Yeah,
the
when
Bash Brothers.
When the roosters are crowing and the calves are turning circles in the pasture. Ducks
We
fly
watched
Ducks
together.
fly forever.
We watched
together.
that on the way back from Port Aransas the other day from our vacation. My kids watched it and they loved it.
Greatest sports movie ever, the
Yeah,
Triple
dude.
D.
They'll reboot that.
Oh yeah.
They should.
Got to.
That is a Disney movie they 100%
If Charlie
reboot.
Conway ain't the coach, I ain't watching.
Yeah, I want to wrap this up.
Yeah, let's
think
do
we're
it.
done.
I think we've
Cole's
had
gotta
plenty
get
of
out of
fun
Guys, thanks for having me back
Cole's
on
again.
this.
Cole's a daddy now. He's got to get.
I'm a dad, right?
Yeah, so
I'm hoping
shoot.
praying he's asleep.
But hey,
Yeah.
congrats on the new one.
Thanks, guys.
What's
Appreciate
his
And
it.
name?
thanks for coming in.
Townsend, right?
Towns.
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 Like Towns Van Zant.
I like it, dude.
Nice.
Yes.
Dude.
Texas legend.
Yeah, thanks for
Hey, man.
stepping out and coming hanging with
Yeah,
us.
man.
Oh,
We
thanks
know
for
how
having
it
me.
is with a young one, so
Couldn't have done it without you.
definitely appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me, guys.
But yeah, so that's gonna do it for this, I guess, a special edition of Modern Dude Chat, the '90s episode. Real quick, gonna recap kind of what we started in the intro. This Saturday, August, is it 3rd? Am I looking at my calendar right?
Yep.
Is that the 3rd?
Yep.
If you're around the DFW area, make it up to Sherman, 903. What is it?
3 Brewers.
Now, is it brewery or brewers?
Brewers.
903 Brewers. We're going to be live on location podcasting from the brewery. So stop by if you're around town.
Our first field trip.
Yeah, our first field trip, road trip, live. We'll be interviewing.
It's Jeremy Roberts, 903 Brewers. What's crazy about this is when he launched his first tasting, It was out in his front yard. Me and the wife and my brother and sisters and all that went out and actually went to Sherman and had the first tasting of his beer. And now this dude has exploded and blown up to this full-blown brewery. He bought a schoolhouse, an old middle school that he's turned into a 3-layer brewery, like event center. It's amazing.
And
it's amazing
remember,
what he's done.
I
The
remember when he
story's crazy.
first opened, we all were supposed to go, and then some things happened where
Yeah.
we couldn't all make it. But yeah, so we're gonna interview, sit down with him.
Yep.
We're gonna kick it
Jeremy
at the brewery,
Roberts.
drinks. We of course will be featuring some 903 beer.
Yes.
And trying some food and just kicking it. So if you're around the Sherman area, want to make a trip up, hang out with us, we'll be up there.
Yeah.
So that we're recording next Saturday. We'll release on Wednesday, and then moving forward, I think the schedule's gonna
New schedule.
New schedule. So we're going
Yep.
to record on, I think, Tuesday
Tuesdays.
nights is what we're shooting for.
Yep.
We haven't nailed down a release date, but it's probably gonna be Thursday or Friday. We'll let you know when we know more about that. So, with that being said, we hope you enjoyed this 90s episode with Cole Reisner. And check us next week at
You
903
guys get in
Brewers.
the comments and give us some of your feedback.
As always, like us, comment, subscribe, get in. Whatever you want to talk about, we'll respond. We like to interact and do all that stuff. Find us on social media. Anywhere at Modern Dude Chat. You can find me at Modern Chuck.
You can find me at Cody Murph, CODYMURF. And you can find Cole.
At Cole Reisner.
Check it out. Cole's Riser.
Check out his music, too. We've mentioned it before. Go check out episode 17 when we break down more Cole's personal story and musical journey. And if you want that unmentionable talk about that TV show,
It starts to trail off towards the end there, guys. So
yeah, we had too much
Hey,
fun.
it's good entertainment.
But yeah, so we hope you enjoyed it. Find us on social media and let us know what you think. We'll catch you next time.
Peace.
Yes.